Today we're checking out Foundry. This is a brand new factory crafting automation game. We're gonna see if we can survive 100 days and how big a factory we can create. It's developed by Channel 3 Entertainment and published by Paradox, but it is a voxel-based game, as you can probably tell by all the cubes behind our starting character back here. Ooh, like the main menu just slightly tilts when I move my cursor. That is somewhat nice. It very much like Satisfactory or Factorio or Dyson Sphere, but it diverges from them in the end game, in which we're going to be creating like a supermassive scaled factory, or at least based on what I've seen from all the trailers. And there's also some mining going on here, which looks quite cool. So it kind of feels like combining Minecraft with all that. So that feels like a new strain, but we're going to see what we see. Also, there's, like I said, the whole mining system. But yeah, it seems like a very cool game. The main video I'm doing all this for is Disclosure, sponsored by Paradox, but this VOD is technically not part of my sponsored contract. But I am filming it, but it's just kind of on my own and not on Twitch, since there's simply too much gameplay to realistically stream for hours on end. And this is going to be kind of a chunky file size. This is a very nice looking game. And I'm going to be trying to record it in 1440p, so let's see if this actually works. Or if I am horribly ruined by it, and moreover, my computer's hard drive. So, yeah, it should be interesting. Anyway, let's get started. We're going to be starting with the single-player campaign, although you can play this multiplayer with your friends. I just kind of wanted to explore the game's whole systems on my own. We've got random seeds. Let's call this world name, Earth. We'll begin with Earth. I wonder what that will give us. Oh, wait, no, that's not actually the seed. Can't you just put it in a random word? We will be doing, I guess, survival. I don't really know if there's much. I'm not feeling very creative. But yeah, you can create kind of massive things like this on this load screen. So we come in, jungle planet, and we've got the dome ship to begin.
Welcome, operator.
We do have like a helpful Australian robot to help us.
This resource-rich moon has been selected for the Foundry initiative.
Yeah, that's Australian.
It into a
way back when I used to be, this is kind of embarrassing, I used to be unable to tell between British and Australian accents. So I would confuse them.
Is to establish mining and smelting operations.
But yeah,
to
that's
ensure a steady supply of essential metals.
Yeah, that's got to be Australian.
My goal is to assist you in setting up this factory.
I wonder if he surfs.
Let's run a few basic checks before we get started. Open the map to check your surroundings.
Here I go with Australians, man. All right, so we have an Australian robot to help us. Anyway, we're going to view our map.
Fantastic.
We will go through the tutorial stuff because I think I got to the end of it, but there is still like a little bit of stuff that I don't know, so we'll see from there. Oh yeah, there's also water in this game. Like, it's very, like I said, it's very kind of Minecrafty in that way, and that kind of makes it different. It also features a grid system, which feels very good to me. Anyway, let's go into our backpack. We've got this ore scanner. Can we actually just... Okay, I can't technically click on that. I guess I've got to, like, hot bar it. I'm still kind of getting used to some of these controls. So let's equip that. And we will boop our scanner. And we've got some xenoferrite ore, and there should be one other type of ore, technum ore, which create two different types of resources that we'll start with. They are... How did we get with our spawn this time? Okay, so like slightly not right next to each other, but whatever, it is what it is. You can't have everything you want. Okay, so we're going to be mining out these ores. So we start off in kind of a similar way to Factorio. You know how you get like... I'm just going to get some trees here too while I'm at this. You know how you can get like a rock instead of actually having to mine the ground itself, and that's kind of an advantage. See how I just got... So there we go. I got 12 xenoferrite ore. Here we go. Actually, what is that? Xeno alien ferrite? What is that from, like, like iron, or is that like from the Latin word to... I'm just trying to figure out where they get these alien words, because technum... I don't know, I'm just trying to sound smart. I don't know what I'm talking about. Never mind. Anyway, so just play the goddamn game, AA. Okay, so 25 more of those. So now we have tons of this xenoferrite ore. This is going to get us off to a good start. Just finish off mining off the rest of this. And then bring this back to our ship. And then just try to live our lives for like 2 more seconds, just ignoring all the bad things in the universe. But I guess that is to say, anyway, we could mine directly underneath us. And I know that this looks like infinite material, But this does actually run out. So these are voxels right here, as you can probably quite obviously see. Kind of like rounded voxels. I think that's a rather pleasant aesthetic because it just makes it a little bit easier on the eyes. Voxel games have a tendency to all kind of blend together in my mind, but this has like all of the... I don't know, like it has all of the beauty of a low poly game with all the kind of technical desire that I would have of like, you know, like a grid-based game without looking too boxy, you know what I mean? Like just looking up at a hill or something. I like that. Yeah, like the render distance, the fog, and I don't know what I'm talking about. The gameplay is totally HD, man. But yeah, like it is nice to play something that looks nice and yet still features deep systems. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so we've got all of the ore. Yeah, we're gonna have to go ahead and I'm just gonna mine all of it right now because there's like so much more to be done. But yeah, you've basically got this. We're going to be setting up our smelting column in more or less. I'm like, that is to say, I just played a lot of Factorio a few months ago. Like I sat myself in a room in front of it for 36 hours over the course of about 4 days. It was disgusting. No one saw me for days. That being said, when it was over, I was totally self-actualized. And I never have to do that again, until now. So, I'm going to throw these things in here. Anyway, that is to say, I have reached, like, apotheosis. And I am now perfect in every way. And now I am able to actually set up the logistics of a smelting column. So we'll see if we can get that done here. Anyway, so we're going to smelt these. I've got in... Oh, that is kind of nice. It's like an element. Technum and xenoferrite. I like that. Who knows what we're putting out into the atmosphere. Do we have... Oh, yeah. Look at that up there. There's just... I guess it's destroyed? Ah, that would explain why I am marooned here. I didn't notice that it was destroyed before. So there's just a giant floating spaceship in the sky. Honestly, looks too low. Like it could just fall. That's the ending to the game. Just spoil it right there. Nah, I don't know how it ends. Wouldn't that be great? Alright, so we got the crafting menu. Come on, Carl, the Australian robot.
Then place them in the shape of a platform next to one of the ore patches.
Cool. So basically, we are putting down these foundations, which are kind of like our building blocks. Although we can technically, like, I'll do it right here. I can just mine out a voxel of dirt, or even 2 voxels of dirt. That is also an option. But we're going to create mining bots that will go through this stuff, and it is going to take them quite some time. But I actually don't know how long it is until they run out, so I'm just going to have to figure that out along the way. Like, we might have to get a lot of new patches as we go. So think of it kind of like similar to that kind of Factorio sense where we're going to need to probably go find more nodes eventually. At least I take it. Unless if this hole just goes down forever. I don't know, I'm literally discovering it as I go. But let's go ahead and maybe put down, like, I would say 3 wide worth. Because we need mining bots to get these out of the ground, and we might end up needing more mining bots. So let's just leave that as is. I'm just going to tab over here. Let's get this tree out of the way, because I'm going to need to construct a lot of stuff. So we'll have the mining bots. Oh, we need more building blocks. Whoops. Okay, let's go back to our place. Make more of those. Put in the rest of the ore. We did get a lot at the beginning. That was nice. And then we'll just create more of that. We do have our crafting over here on the bottom left, so that's like a pretty normal place to see that, I guess. Though we will, our crafting menu is going to fill up quite a lot, and there is a ton of research in this game. So I don't really know why it wants me to get 30 of these, but I'm going to try to join the 2 ores together with building blocks before too long. Let's see, we'll go back into crafting, and then we will just go here, and... Okay, yeah, now I've got to do this. I made extra. Right, so we'll do another... Whoops. You can kind of, like, place them out in a grid like this. Maybe I shouldn't be going over the ore itself, but... I don't care. Let's go here.
To automate ore extraction, we need to set up a drone miner.
A drone miner.
Place it on top of your foundation, right next to the ore.
Yeah. Oh, this is like that outrageous. You remember that video of the Australian guys saying that it was outrageous fun? I was out there the other night with a couple of guys and a couple of gals. Everyone was wasted. Some days I wish I were Australian. Like I'd be having more fun or something, you know? Doesn't it seem like it? Doesn't they? They seem like they're having a good time over there in Australia. Ugh. So much fun. Let's go over to our drone miner. We'll just put like buildings in these different tabs. It'd kind of be nice if I could open these up, but I guess I don't have that many buttons on my keyboard. Makes me wish I had like extra fingers. All right, let's go to number 2. So what I'm gonna do is this. Basically things don't work if you don't put them there. Oh, I'm also going to need a power source, but I guess I'll move the power source near the ship. I know that much to get me started now.
Drone miners and most other buildings require
Drone
power to
miners.
function.
All right, I'm gonna
Let's
just
build a
stop right
biomass
there. That
generator
it's getting
on the
worse
same
by the second.
foundation as the drone miner. Once built, you need to harvest
Right,
some
so we need
plants and
some,
trees with your mining drill to collect biomass.
like immediate deforestation.
Insert the
So
biomass into the generator.
I
and
like the
start to
sound of his
power
voice,
all
but at the same
buildings on
time
the
it's kind of
same foundation as
distracting
the
too, you know.
generator.
All right, thank you, Carl. That'll be all. So we have to make a biomass burner. We're gonna go over here to obviously the biomass burner itself. We could probably make 2 of those. Did I make a second miner? I guess I should just get 1 started here. I mean, the tutorial kind of guides you through making 1 of everything, but I honestly think you're just better off just doing it for both ores, because otherwise you're awkwardly mining 1 while you get the rest out of the other. This is why I did all of that stuff early on. Okay, see, now I've used up a lot of my Technum ore. We are getting Technum ore over here, though. I guess I kind of want everything to be on the same level, so let's just mine out this rock. And maybe we'll put the biomass burner nearby our ship itself. So where is my other node? The other node is over there, so I kind of am going to, like... I'm definitely going to have to redo this later, but let's just keep this all on, like, 1 level over here, right? So I'm just going to go over here. Boop-a-doop-a-doop. Diggy. Diggy. Diggy a hole. There we are. Alright, so I'm going to go back here in the words of a much greater man than me. Alright, let's go over here. And, boop. Oh, look at that. It's kind of like flush. Don't you like that? How the kind of rounded edges of the... I like that. That's nice. Where is... I keep instantaneously losing sense of direction where I'm at. So let's go ahead and just maybe mine out a little bit more of this. Now, the reason I'm joining these platforms is because that's going to join the power to the 2 sections. So I kind of want to just connect these 2. So it's right over there. So let's get, like, kind of flush with that. Maybe we'll come over to about here, right? That seems to be about where it's going. And then... I know this, like, looks a little excessive, what I'm doing right here, but I just kind of want everything to be on the same level in my factory, otherwise I know it's going to drive me crazy. So think of this kind of like a power line. There are power poles that we'll get to later on, but never mind that. You don't have to worry about that right now. So the next ore should be over here. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and get another platform ready, then connect these 2, and then we will get our mining operation begun. Okay, so I've just built my way over to the xenoferrite, or is this the... Yeah, this is the xenoferrite ore. And we will now build up, like, another platform over here. Let's go maybe 3x3. I should just make a little bit more room over here, I think. Just mine, like, kind of a path over there, but now these are connected by power, which is nice. Or they will be once we get power going. But there we go. So that is a kind of a nice 3x3 platform. I guess that's what I'll end up using. And let's just put a second miner over here. So we go, yeah, like that. And then I guess we'll send this. We might end up doing the smelting column somewhere else later on anyway. So no power. We will have 3 little miner bots coming in and out of this. But let's go ahead and just create a... Do we have our biomass burner yet? Yeah, so let's go ahead and put that into... Let's put that into our buildings tab. I want to kind of keep this hotbar organized because it's very easy to get out of order. We'll go over to 3 and we will... Let's put that like right about... This is the entry to my ship, so I'll remember where this is. Maybe we'll make a little bit more space over here just for like specialized power stuff going on. So let's go maybe... I don't know, like 4 blocks or so right here. Trying not to use up too many extra materials because you do run out early on, and that can take a little bit longer because we're already kind of coming to twilight here. Look, the first day is coming to a close. I will put in some fuel.
Watch your mining drones acquire your first automated ore.
Okay,
Aren't
cool.
they beautiful? Anyways,
I
we need
mean,
to get going.
yeah, they're
Let's build the
pretty, but
smelting
are.
next.
I guess you could be like attracted to other robots, you know. Oh, look, we've actually got 4. I'm a liar. There we go. So, there we go. So we've got 3 miner bots. We are going to probably want to put these into some kind of central location. And so think of these kind of like our miners in Factorio or something like that. We do have a flashlight. What is it? Whoops. It's actually not F, it's L, my bad. Alright, so that is kind of useful. We have more miner bots up here, and so these guys are collecting ores for us, so that is nice. It's good to be getting both. I do recommend doing both if you're in the tutorial and it just tells you to do one. Do better, you know, do better. There we go. Whoops, manage inventory. The one thing I still have to do myself is the harvesting of these, although, like the trees for the biomass, although there is technology later on to get, like, you know, basically coal, or whatever it is, like the fuel, or, you know what I mean. Okay, so we have to make a smelter, so what do we need for that? So I guess we'll make 2 smelters, 1 for each, because I kind of want to bring my stuff back here, and I don't want to have to move around so much, like, obviously, as in any other automation game. Just, like, minimizing trips and kind of bringing everything to you, even though that it takes a long time to set up, is kind of worth it in the end, so let's just go ahead and put in more here. Cool, these things have been making more, and our work is already kind of paying off. I would like, though, to start to think of these immediately as smelting columns. Now, I don't really have a sense of exactly how big, like, what do they call it? Like a startup base should be. You know the one you do before you build your main bus? Like, just one to kind of get you started. So I think we'll just go straight into smelting columns. But before I do that, I would like to kind of look around at maybe some of the geography. Since this factory is going to get very large, I'm guessing we're going to be doing ore deliveries, like, around here. And it looks like a nice, open, flat land this way. Like, if I zoom out on this... Yeah, let's just go do some exploring over here. So I would like to go see the water. Let's just see what other obstacles are potentially going to get into our way. And I have not actually dived into the water yet. And also, in the meantime, where are the other ores? Like, would be kind of nice to know, because I haven't seen any of them around here. Either that, or maybe I have to go underground. Alright, so I'm a robot underwater. 10 out of 10. Do I have breath? Am I breathing? Oh, I just died. Game over. No. I could do with, like, some fish in here or something. Let's go ahead and see what's over there, I want to say. Although it just looks like kind of ashy... like Barrens biome. Look, and it's already night too. Kind of liking the day-night, just like a very pretty game. But yeah, let's go spend some time over here. I think this is more or less the direction we'll build in. Oh no, that wasn't actually it. Let's go over this way. I guess it's like dirt. Do we have the grass grow on it? Very pretty. Okay, so I somewhat stand corrected. That wasn't just like some sort of barrens. There is essentially a mountain right here. So if we mine this out, we're getting stone out of it. Maybe that's useful for something, or like probably beneath it. I would have a little doubt on that one. Okay, cool. Oh, we've actually got a second one of ore. Interesting. More unknown resources. But, I mean, basically, I see this as the nearest big open patch of land. Potentially this could be better, but let's go back to our main base. I don't know how much I want to scale yet. Okay, so I stand corrected yet again. This is basically a jungle biome. Like, we are right here at the forest floor. Very cool. Very pretty. I guess we get more, like... Oh, wow, that's a lot of biomass per tree. I would probably benefit from taking a lot of this down. I'm thinking... Either option is basically fine. We just don't really want to build out down south here because of all these streams that could get in our way, or these giant pools of water. So I'm thinking if we go either this way or this way. This way looks pretty good to me, so maybe we'll just go north for now. But I'm thinking I'm going to probably stretch out my smelting columns if we have like kind of a whatever winds up being our main resource, if we want to call that like our main bus, if we do smelting columns like here, then we probably want to do some sort of main bus / assembly this way, and then any other machine will go out like this. This is just kind of a principle that I've learned from playing it in my infinite wisdom from playing so many automation games and just utterly failing at them over and over again, but a principle which has kind of worked for me. Okay, so in order to sort of placate the game and just get through some of the first few messages, I'm going to just do a little smelter here, but it doesn't change my mind about the whole, like, smelting column idea. I think I'm still going to carry that out. I just have to build, I think it's 2 or 3 of these things, just to kind of get it started. And then after that, we'll scale our factory almost instantaneously, just because the returns to scale, in my opinion, just, like, almost instantly pay off. Like it is alarming how quickly it catches. Being dumb catches up with you in these types of games. So I will attempt to be at least slightly, to at least have some general principles of what's going on around me. See, already like I'm doing so much better than I was the first time. It's crazy to me how much faster you get when you play automation games. How much bigger your brain gets. But yeah, let's go over here. So we've got 43 of these now. Let's just keep all of our buildings in this menu. We X out of that. And now 20 conveyors. So we can already oh, I've already done conveyors. I'm good, babe. All right. Let's go for 12 more of those. And already at our main base, we've already got so much good stuff burning in the smelters here. Just keeping these things going all day.
To connect the drone miner to the smelter. Now,
all right.
attach a loader to each machine.
I've got another 1, 2. Yeah, that should be good. 3 smelters more.
And have them produce enough metal plates and rods to fulfill our mission.
All right. So now we can go over.
God
damn it!
Link
Do you ever stop talking, robot man?
Our objective is near completion.
It does get like slightly more narrative based as we get in. Like there is a little bit of a narrative. Like we get. Well, I'll spoil it slightly for you. Like we get cut off from command, and then there's another robot friend that we make. So it's not just like pure machine. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there is quite a lot of machine here, though. Don't get it twisted. But yeah, it is what it is. All right, here we go. I'm just going to separate these by one because eventually I'm going to move these along, and I kind of want it to be visible what I'm doing.
We've done a great job, haven't we?
Yeah, we did a great job, Mr. Robot Man. Absolutely. I'm not afraid of AI taking my job. There we go. Let's go ahead and... Aren't we all afraid of AI taking our jobs? Craft a research... I don't think I will craft a research server, sir.
Let's get going and build a research server.
Yeah, there's a robot trying to get me to build more robots. I'm like Will Smith in iRobot. That's just dumb, man. Why would you use a robot to build more robots? Man, come on. Where is Sunny the robot? Oh, cool. We can, like, extend these out in the line. That's great. All right, so we've got some intake. We could also build outputs for these. I prefer to... I'm not going to do this structure for a very long time anyway, so let's just ignore this for now. But, yeah, there are inputs and outputs. You can also go it over by 2, but I think that requires more technology. Like, skip 1 here and then have it output on this side. But you could also output it over here, too, so that's what I might just do. I generally find that inputting this opposite direction of outputting leads to the easiest type of scale for most factories. So, crafting a research server? Okay, I will do as you say, Robot Overlord. Let's go over here and take the rest of these, and then we will handle, I guess, more of the mining right here, but these machines are actually smelting a little bit more efficiently. See, this one's already got 16. We can just kind of collect at random from them. But then you like this, we get the resources coming out on the conveyor belts already 3D! Amazing. Sorry, I'm like slightly amazed by 3D gaming. Like, video games got so much better from when I was a kid. I'm still just astounded by very simple things that Zoomers today are like, well, it is what it is. No, we had the PSP come out as a kid, and Oh my gosh, the graphics were just, mwah, they were perfect. They were amazing. To hold that much graphical power in your hand, man. It was actually quite cool. I missed the time when technology was improving that fast, that evidently, you know. To think, we used to be playing with rocks and stones when I was a child. Oh, every day is a miracle. Sorry, I lost control a little bit right there. But yeah, like, sorry, sometimes I'm just amazed at the quality of games nowadays. They're very good. Alright, let's go ahead and put in, research server. Oh, look at that. That's very beautiful and nice. So now we've got to place a research server on the Foundation. Oh, look at me! What a fool I've been! I have technically not put it on... no, it is technically on a Foundation. That is odd. Why is it not? Did I mess something up? Waiting for item. Hang on a second. Let me just, like, take it down and then put it back for a second. Yes, as well as construction. If you make a mistake, you are also allowed to deconstruct. Amazing, isn't it? Oh, whoops, that wasn't actually a research server. I was just making another smelter.
To advance in research,
there we go.
you will
All right,
need to
there
build
is
science
our
packs.
research
Craft a
server.
few
So
by
now
hand
we need to make
and insert
science
them into
packs.
the research server to research the emergency
You
beacon.
require additional pylons. Let's go ahead and do that, and then we will make the emergency beacon, and that will set off the main story event. And then after that, we can... Oh, there they are. We will set off our main... set off to our main, like, smelting columns, probably after that. But, okay, thanks to my brilliant planning, we've already got all of our research going. And we do have quite a lot of research here. It is a lot, considering where we are in time and space right now. Let's go ahead and add in a few of these, and then we will begin with our first research, which will be the emergency beacon. By placing emergency beacon, we'll be able to reestablish communications with mission control. Will we, though? And then we'll craft assemblers, which do exactly what you think they will. All right, cool. All right, we have made the emergency beacon. I'm having a meltdown.
Craft it and
Right,
place
so
it,
now we just
but
have to
not
go
too
back
close to
over
your
here,
existing
and we
machines.
make the
Those rescue
emergency
parties tend to
beacon.
land
Help!
right on top of the
Help,
beacon.
I've fallen and I can't get up. I guess we'll make a crate as well, because I am starting to accumulate some junk in my inventory. I'm not sure the auto sort really helps me right here. I don't... Oh, you know, I haven't actually planted any plants. I feel as though that might not be the #1 thing that I should be focused on right now, like becoming the Johnny Appleseed of the... Or what if I just... For the video... You know, I do get to decide the premise of the video. Why don't I just say it's completely not automating. I just planted seeds. I just frolicked through meadows for 100 days. I was thinking like, oh, what would let me kind of go through the whole game and all of its systems and stuff, which generally speaking, like 100 days I think is a fun... I think 100 days is a fun challenge. It is... It works, especially for new games, because I'm like, all right, I just kind of want to see the systems, but what can be accomplished in this amount of time? But what if I just did nothing? And just spoke about the philosophy of existence for a few hours. All right, let's go ahead and put down the emergency beacon. I guess we probably aren't going to need to repeatedly place this structure, but B is a little funny. Maybe I could like map that to something else. Here we go. Let's put down our emergency beacon. I think someone will land on me when I do this. Nope. All right, I'm fine. All right. Jesus, that is really cool. Boop. Wait a second. Oh God. No, L. Here we go. Where is it? I just had the button. Please let me press you. There it is. Oh, there is the button. The Buton.
Great. Now you might want to take a step back and look up.
See, he says to look up, but... Oh, God! Jesus!
A real groundbreaker. This corporate command companion...
I actually didn't
bot,
see that the first time.
C3DB for short,
I just
will
thought
help
it
us
landed
establish
near
a
you,
connection
not
with
directly
mission
on you.
command.
Okay.
First, let's help him out of that drop pod.
Alright, so he
by
lands in like a
deconstructing
Harry
and placing
Houdini
the
escape
location.
chamber, essentially. Is there... Can I see inside of it? When it first landed, I think I could, but I guess maybe there's like variation. Alright, cool. So that, Oh, nice. Created like a meteor impact in the middle of my factory. Thanks a lot, Australian robot. Place this... I don't know why I keep it... Oh, no. All right, let's go back to our C3BB hub. Blast resistant. Like foreshadowing of what's to come, I suppose. I do believe that there are explosions, many of them here. All right, but let's put, there's going to be like a robo hub, so I think this actually doesn't need to be connected, but I'm not positive about that.
Welcome to the ground C3BB.
Maybe I should disconnect it.
We have activated this emergency beacon because we are having trouble communicating with mission command.
Okay, so we need the emergency beacon because we can't speak, but he can't speak English, so that is problematic.
Space station, you say? Spontaneous explosive disassembly.
I mean, I could have told you that right from here.
What now? Are we trapped here?
Like, look, I didn't need a robot emergency communicator to tell me that.
Aligns with our disaster contingency protocol.
Okay.
C3BB.
Thorough analysis. Well, then just send your extent.
We'll integrate your
It's actually kind of cool.
blueprint archive with our research servers and construct a self-sufficient manufacturing facility capable of providing emergency
yeah, basically make a factory, like, story set in... Oh my gosh, huge surprise, big plot twist. We're going to construct a factory in a factory game. So we have to go ahead and... I guess we'll give him this task.
You're right. We need a
So I'm not sure whether this is me actually giving him the task or whether he just tells me to.
Let's go ahead and research the assembler.
Oh, okay, cool. So, like, blueprint is stored. Maybe that is... And we can, like, interact with him slightly so he's sort of a pet, but he can't really... He doesn't really talk much. At least so far. I've got my eye on you.
Indeed,
Polyphemus.
I do wonder about the universe, but let's focus on not getting lost in it, shall we?
Yeah, all right. So, anyway, back to the mission. We've got, like, this huge crater here. Thanks a lot, strange robot from without. Let's go ahead and just kind of, like, make this a little bit more flush. I might just go over this, but look at the possibilities of the voxels are endless, grandiose, and labyrinthine. Let's go ahead and grab out maybe some more of these things. We'll grab some more of this, and then we will begin our research at the place that does that. And then I think once we have assemblers, we can start to get our... or have a reason for our smelting column. So we'll scale that. Alright, so the first research is Assembler 1, or technically the second, but unlocks the Assembler machine able to craft general components. So we will begin the research on that. And cool, we have like, basically a massive tech tree, though clearly we're going to have multiple different types of science assembly packs, as denoted by these like different colored pips. But it looks like we can get up to, from like blue science packs to red science packs. Up here we've got some signs, stairs. Okay, the second lane on the loader early on would be nice. Doors, structures, ladders, containers. Balancers as well. Okay, so basically the early logistics as well as drill mining speed. What about explosions? When does that come in? Okay, so here I am. I've basically dug out like the Panama Canal from two sides. I'm going to bring this over and let's go over here and bring this one over this way. And they aren't technically level, so we'll have to set up another sort of balancer kind of thing going on here. That's all right. Like, we can live with that, but I'm going to have to try to figure out the ratio right here of how many of each go to each other. But here we go. So, like, this is over land. This will allow us to kind of balance out our conveyor belts and maybe, like, put all of our resources right next to each other, which would be a lot more convenient than what we've got going on right here. But I'm thinking if we do some sort of smelting column going up and down about here, we can scale that as much as we need to, especially for multiple resources, then poop them back out this way, and then kind of put them along to a main bus over here. This way, we still have room over here. We just kind of want to expand out over like one dimension of each. So let's go ahead and try to do that. I'm going to, we'll use like a kind of a raised conveyor belt right here. Let's just, go back into our other menu. Whoops. Okay, I've got to like dismantle that. It would be kind of nice if I could just drill that, just for simplicity, but I guess I'm going to probably confront more situations where it'll like make sense to either mine or do something different. Not quite sure yet, but let's just have these go in like one line. Maybe right next to each other isn't the best idea as well. I'm just thinking now, like, let's have this stuff be pooped out over here. And that looks clear up that way. And then if we have this stuff be pooped out, like maybe over here. I'm just going to try to draw some lines in. I'll have this go up like one more level. And then see how that works. Okay, we just unlocked Assembler level 1. Not that it really makes a difference, but here we go. Ooh, cool. Like turns here going on already. Let's go ahead and just put this onto the rest of our foundation. Which is like a very fancy way of saying foundation. Here we go. Let's go over to this. And cool, we are already producing one line of xenoferrite ore. Cool, we can kind of like build one on top of the other. I've seen some crazy stuff in some of the trailers with that. Would like to make it look unnecessarily confusing. Which I will probably do without really intending it anyway. So now I guess we go over here with this one. And we are running out of conveyor belts. I'm just going to need to start to scale my crafting, and let me go do that. Okay, so we're just about done setting up the basics of our mining and smelting column. Ratios aside, not thinking about that at all yet. Let me just get one more of these plants out of the way. So basically the idea is mine all of the, these shouldn't be here. I'm just going to get these out. These were just for the original tutorial. I'll move those over by the real smelting column. We want to just kind of yes, let's decomplicate it. Uncomplicate everything. Lack of complexify. Here we go. So we've already gotten to the end of one of these nodes, just to kind of like show you, or voxels anyway. I don't really know how far this goes down. We do have more unknown stuff. We're probably going to have to find other, like make other ends meet. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, we do have one belt leading here. I wanted them to be relatively close together. We'll see how this goes. We're just trying to give everything a little bit of space. And then we've got another mining setup over here for technum ore. So we've got xenoferrite and technum. We're at the end of... I honestly lost count. This is either night 2 or night 3. But it doesn't take that long. But here we go. We've got like a little bit of a chug to our resources going right here. We want to get that to a steady line as we go. But I think after that we will get some sort of pooping back out of the resources. For now, we'll poop them back out on this side and then just have our belts like cross over. But then I'm thinking that we then will poop that out this way onto our map because this is a nice forest over here. And then we could construct on either one or two sides of that. Like the smelting columns can be extended up this way. There they are, they're beginning. It's already starting to look like a little circuit board you can kind of see. But we kind of bring those resources back out here and then push them this way. And the more room we give ourselves, the better off we'll be. But it also looks like there's a river that comes up. So, yeah, maybe like right here. Okay, so already doing our first crossover here, I think. If we just link these two. Yep, there we go. All right, so we are going to... whoops, we have no foundation. I guess it's not happy with that. Output / no foundation, so we do have to mine underneath this thing then. Just put down some foundation here. Just give me a second. So I probably should have thought of this beforehand. Wasn't sure if this would actually happen, but it appears as if it is playing out. Yeah. Man, I wish my mining range went that far. Maybe I need to unlock that as well. Right, but here we go. It can, surprisingly perhaps, stand without that. Right, but here we are. We're under the loader. Now if we just put in that and that. Okay, cool. So we're getting, like, what are these again? These are technically, yeah, there we go. Output. Like these rods are emerging and creating progress. Amazing, isn't it? All right, let's go over to finish this off on the other side. But that's the idea, is that we're going to cross these over. And then start to poop them out over there and then go that away. Right, here we go. So we just hit the buton again. And there we go. Plates from the belt. Amazing. So let's go ahead and make all of these into outputs. Eventually, I think we will be able to input and output them on the same side once we get the technology for it. But, you know, this is fine by me. I guess that would make it a little bit more space efficient because then it would take up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiles. And this one takes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 versus 5. Not really that big a trade-off, but this is the general structure I think I'll be sticking with for much of this. Apparently this plant is in the way. So now we want to just get faster, start to leverage our skills and clear more area. You know what I'm saying, man? I can tell that these belts are already going to get a lot of use. Let's go ahead and just move these over here because I'm sick of trying to find the number 6 on my keyboard. It's driving me crazy. I'm going to go insane. Oh, we have run out of power. Oh, yeah, we're probably going to need to scale that as well. This is the endless debacle of life. Herein. Okay, so I've just isolated out technum rods and xenoferrite plates. So here we go. This is the beginning of what will probably end up being a main bus kind of area. So we have the start of a smelter, which is pretty easily scalable, like northward from here. And then the assembly, or like, basically we'll be carrying all of the resources across here. I don't know what is here, so this is ultimately probably going to end up being a terrible place for this, but I'll just harvest whatever's out of here and then continue with my life. Maybe I'll just extend this out a little bit further to give myself more space. But yeah, then from there, any type of assembly can go on like this away along these y-axis lines, and then go back into the bus as needed, or just take place on site for assembly. Wow, I cannot believe... I had like no vocabulary for this until I watched a bunch of Neelas's videos on Factorio, actually. But it's surprising how much they scale to other games. That just happens to be the other one. You know, insert your favorite game right here, whatever it is. But generally speaking, a lot of these principles do kind of scale. So hopefully going from there, but we do kind of need the research to begin, so... got to figure out exactly what is going to need its own specialized place. Okay, so I think that the very first thing we need to do is just create a bunch of assemblers. From there, we can do... Let's go back into our crafting screen. Basically, we need machinery parts and technum rods if we want to create science packs, and that's what's kind of, you know, advancing the way right here with research, so that would be a good thing to do. We already have xenoferrite plates and technum rods, just among what we've already got. I would say we don't need to worry about crafting any of these, but the first component that we might need is machinery parts. Otherwise, wire coil and electronic components also seem pretty useful. But ultimately, when we want to get to the point where we're assembling assemblers in our assemblers, yeah, it also looks like we assemble a little bit faster on our character, which is interesting. Actually, all the way down. Something's... Not quite sure. But yeah, let's begin with some assemblers. We'll just get a row up. We will do maybe a little bit of everything, but we'll do it in a scalable fashion. And then we'll just see how much we need of each thing. Okay, we finally got set up with our first assembler. I figure, if anything, we should probably be making more factory foundation, just because this connects and is basically like the vanilla ice cream of the factory. Maybe a bad analogy. Honestly, a terrible analogy, but whatever, I'm just gonna go with it. It is the ice cream that glues everything. The glue! The glue! That's what I was looking for. Not even a good analogy yet, but you get what I mean. This is the step, or maybe you don't, but whatever, live your life. I can't make words today. Alright, now that I've gotten over just... great segue. All right. Anyway, the assemblers are the assembler only is ready, because I realized I can't actually split lanes yet, so I still need more logistical research. But otherwise, I think just crafting science continuously in my inventory is basically the best thing I can do for right now. We do have more assemblers we could make. I guess honestly, we can't really make that much more. But yeah, just a lot of preliminary research, and it's taking me a little while to just walk back and forth between here and my base. So it's good that we've got everything ready to scale already. I also need another biomass generator, just so that I can be at optimal power output, and I'm going to need to automate that process soon enough too. But then eventually we'll get the research automated, and just you wait. It's going to get good. It's going to get way better. What are you complaining about? Who is... Alright, you live your life. Otherwise, I have work to do. Can you help me in some way, though? Expand smelters. Cool. I mean, yeah, we've researched it.
Genius. If it takes 8 small smelters to fill
Oh, 8 smelters to fill a conveyor belt, then we'll need...
each metal ore.
Got it, okay. Okay, we have just about researched our second lane on the loader, so that means we can get some actual, like 2-lane factories going here, but we don't have any type of splitters, so that's going to be the next thing we do. So we'll next do conveyor balancers, and that should allow splitting, merging, etc. So we go from there, but that's going to require 20, and then after that we'll get Ignium so that we don't have to keep manually reloading, and that will get the basics of automation done for us. So we have 13, 14, 15, 16. That should be more than enough. And yeah, just always crafting that in our inventory. The second lane is going to be particularly helpful so that we could, like, now we have multiple inputs already. So having 2 things on one side and then an output on another, or input on one side and output on the same side, or what have you. This might make smelting a little bit easier, so I might just do this right away. But that's the general idea. Okay, the other thing I've done here is this is sort of like my version of just a jumpstart factory, I suppose you would call it. I'm getting machinery parts just because I keep having to manually assemble these things in my inventory. See that? It just makes science research take so much longer. So this is kind of nice, just gives me something to do here, and it takes only 1 input, so I might as well. That doesn't detract from this production over here. I'm also afraid of using up too much stuff, but I think that's... or at least I think that the mystery is part of some of the fun of it, but this is at least going to help me just start to kind of chain together the floors and just, you know, wherever I want to build something, I can just put it down. I want to make this into a very flat surface, so this will be very, like, boring and just factory-like. But hopefully we'll get up some lights so we can actually see around us in the night. It's going to be a little while till I can get that cosmetic, but, you know, it is what it is. Okay, already the first scaling of our smelting production here. We had only 2 to begin with, clearly not enough, but we have pooped out. Look at all of these plates. This is amazing. We, I think, need 8 of these for each thing, but yeah, like that is to get a healthy flow going. I don't know where we'll find more of this stuff, though, so I'm not sure we're going to be scaling to, like, Factorio levels right away. Eventually, yeah. But, not right now, I suppose. Let's see, we've got maybe another science machine. I'm still just liking this kind of jumpstart area. I've moved everything else over from our, landing location over to here just because I don't see the point of keeping everything over there anymore. Why should we do that when we could just stand in one place? Okay, and we are coming up to 100% on conveyor balancers. I think the next thing we're probably going to want is Ignium, because I believe, yeah, Ignium is a burnable element used for power generation. Research the power generator to use it as a fuel source. That would be good. Only 15 as well, and then we can get burner generators. And that basically automates this whole, like, plant process. Not that this has been so painful, but at the same time, machine efficiency only, what, 70%? So let's get those numbers up, man. We have to go bigger from there. Okay, we have just constructed our first splitter in the wrong place. So I'm going to just take it out a little bit further, and we'll see how much this scales. It's going to be a learning experiment, so just expect to, like, kind of reconstruct things as we go. But just to have different availabilities of different resources in different places. The only thing that I can see right now that we construct with both of these 2 main resources is this one, so I think we'll get off producing these over here and we'll produce them on site in other areas, just because this requires only these xenoferrite plates in order to function. Man, there's gonna be a lot of names here. Let's go ahead and do... I guess we should just go through resources one by one. Machinery parts leads to... Well, science is advancing everything right now, so let's make science our first goal. That's what we'll produce first. I know it seems like kind of an odd thing, but we just have a lot that we don't even know about yet. Okay, I am just about ready to create my first configuration of science production, which is great. We are, I think, I'm going to need 1 more space for this, and then we'll probably output on the other side, so I'm going to need another 2 of these. Be nice to get a slightly faster drill, so I might get into character upgrades soon for a bit, but I'm just tired of loading and unloading the science machine. So let's go ahead and put one of these things here. We'll face the panels, I guess, like toward the inputs, for lack of a better paradigm here. But basically what we have is this. I'm going to go ahead here and make this into science. So, yep, cool, this is producing science now, and then we'll just put on a loader on the other side, and then we can unload those onto a belt, which will then go... Well, we're going to have more science, so I'm just going to put... I mean, for lack of knowing where anything better goes, and all of the ratios and how much we'll need of anything, I've always found that the best thing that's just always scalable for me is put everything back into the main bus. So right now... This has produced its first science nodule. We have got... Think of this like the entryway of the... Oh, God, I really need the jetpack so that I could just fly over this. That's going to make this a lot better. But basically, smelting columns are coming in here. I mean, that's the ores, but ignore that. Here are the products of our smelting columns. This direction out here is going to go the main bus, but we don't have a main bus yet. And then these are going to be the first of our, like, assembly arm sections. And then these produce on the Y... Here, it would make more sense if I have it on the map. We have these producing on the Y-axis, and then the main bus will eventually head off this way, and then we'll have more assembly going on here. So this is ultimately going to look like assembly, 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 and then the bus runs along this side. Maybe we'll even do more assembly on this side, but when you don't know how much you have to scale the main bus and what goods are really important for the main bus, like in Factorio it would be like green electric chips and stuff like that, I am of the opinion that you're better off just building on one side of the bus so that you can just keep putting more goods back into the bus. Technically we could do 2 because we can build in 3 dimensions. Maybe it'll get kind of silly like that, but that's kind of what the first factory is for, so... anyway, that is the gist of it. We now have science being produced automatically, though, and that is quite nice. But we need, or it would be nice to have some Ignium. So I believe we have scanning going on here. Technum, landing location. I think I just heard one more. Ignium. Over there, how far off is that? Not too bad. And actually a really great placement for it. Whatever is over here, we'll worry about that at a later date. Okay, quick pause. So we now have science research automated, which is great. I can take this one out of here because this was the one that I'd set up as the jumpstart factory. And I believe I could also... I might keep some of this stuff on site just because it might be useful for later on as I continue crafting stuff. But yeah, generally speaking, I'm just going with like the most naive possible approach that I usually do. So this is the direction of the main bus ultimately again. Oh, here we go. So this is the first assembly, but then I've just turned it back on itself for science, because I don't know what I'm going to need, but this situation works for now. We're probably going to have to go 3D, though, with it. Let's see, what else have we got? Biomass generation, or not biomass, burner generator recipe. Here we go. So this is going to be the source of the power. Let's get the next type of ore. What is it, Ignium ore that we require? I believe we can get that, but we also just need more of these assemblers for the science, because it is not a fast process, and we need more power overall, so... yeah, that is next. Okay, so the next type of ore is going to be this Ignium ore, which... oh, cool! It's actually located beneath the surface! That's sweet! Alright, so we have to go mine down and find this stuff. This is awesome. I guess this is going to be the beginning of our mines. Because, well, what else could it be? And, cool, we've got character customization. Also, we can research remotely, so that is nice. Might as well take inventory size, and I'll take mining drill speed. This is going to be useful for me, especially as we start to delve into the depths of Mother Earth. But here we go. Ah, we have hit it, or whatever it is. So can we get some of this crap? I guess we really just need one small opening to the vein of the ore, although it wouldn't hurt to get a couple more because I guess the other bots will kind of appreciate that. Although so far I haven't seen a dirt mining one. But there's got to be a lot more scale here if this is what we're talking about. Let's just scan it one more time so it is like, it kind of starts here. So I guess let's just mine down in this spot because we want to make sure that we have that covered so that we can kind of make our miners flush with the deposit, you know. Alright, there we go. So that's just about the last of that. And now they should be able to dive down into there and take the stuff out. Good. We have that. I think it is just sand there. And now we can go ahead and craft another drone miner, which fortunately that doesn't take a very long time to craft. Starting to think about, like, this is kind of the factory assembly screen. Or that's my tab for this, but now we could start to do one, I guess, for miner assembly here. So if we put that there. Yeah, we still have to go through a lot of woods. Whatever, but this is the main idea. I think it doesn't really matter. Our power supply could be well separated off from the rest of the factory. I'm just trying to think along which dimension, because you got to figure you're probably going to need to scale it a lot more than you'd care to admit. So maybe we just... we might need this later, though. It could be like an input. Who knows? So let's just say size 12 by 12 by 12, 14 by 10 by 10 by 14. If we do like power maybe along here, just to scale along a different axis. Or even along here, because the smelting columns are over here and our bus is going this way. Yeah, let's just do it out here to my right. Like north-south like this. And then we'll connect it to this strip. That looks pretty good. Okay, scaling is getting just a little bit easier here. We can bring this over to our miner, and now we'll somehow connect these like that or that. Who cares? But, yeah, so now we can go with 5. We'll probably want to scale this up a little bit better. But yeah, okay, we finally got this working, and now we've got ignium ore. Nice. All right, so next, I suppose we should probably connect this in a better way, because this isn't really good by any means whatsoever. Output, no conveyor. We just need a conveyor. And then I guess we can connect this to... Oh yeah, I said I was going to do up, down like this. All right, so then we do that. Okay, so these things are huge. I've now got a burner in place. Look at the size of that. Jeez, man. But hopefully that means it won't... I mean, maybe it's a very efficient or something, you know? 3 fuel, current output, 376 kilowatts, max. Why wouldn't it... that is actually kind of curious. I wonder why it doesn't output. Not gonna lie, I just have no idea what's going on here. Let's see, 5, well, it is producing proportionally a lot more than the other ones are, so maybe that's like some sort of amount that we haven't met yet, unless if it has something to do with, I mean, we are taking in the max fuel, aren't we? Unless if, for some reason, I would need to do something like this, like do more inputs at a time. Like it's the flow? No, I don't think that it is then. Maybe it is recommended to use automatable fuel sources. For instance, Ignium from... That's like, you know, recommending itself. Okay, whatever, fine. But at the same time, I guess maybe we just don't need it? Low voltage grid. I guess we just don't really need that much power. I feel like I'm doing something wrong, though. This requires some examination. Although maybe we just don't. Maybe that's it. Anyway, I'll make a few more of these. These are more scalable and just honestly much better than everything else we were using before. So let's do these instead. Much an improvement. Although it does kind of require a lot of back and forth here, but a jetpack can't be far away, and our mining speed is also improved too. So this is getting a little bit cheaper. When do we get the jetpack? Anyway, decor, lights, conveyor. I really would like a jetpack. Is this searchable? I don't see anything, but yes, I desire that very much. Okay, 4 burners now, and these are now producing at 260, 250. So I think they supply only what the power grid demands, but basically, power supply. We're going to get rid of that old one that's right here. then ores that we're mining at various places, combined with smelting columns, and then here is our main bus with like a little something going on here, and then these are going to be the production kind of assembler line. So now we can kind of get into the grand assembly that is automation. And I think we're about a week in right here, so that's good timing. We've made it. We've survived. The days do last long in this game, so you can get a lot done in one day, I'm happy to say. But let's go over here and just start to see. Now it's going to be a lot of managing the flows of various resources. That's really always like the humdinger, you know, as it were. Okay, we are starting to produce more manufactured goods. These are some sort of copper type of wire. What are they technically? We've got wire coil, and then electronic components is the next one, which oddly enough require more technum rods as another input. I'm feeling like there's going to be a better way to do this. We could probably, oh, I know, we could have these side by side. I'm going to need to make more room though, because I think we could do inputs here, then outputs on another. That might get kind of confusing. Or I could just brute force it the way I have been doing. Let's go with that. Okay, I've decided that there's going to be a lot more work than perhaps I had anticipated. So the next time you see this, there will be a lot less trees. I'm just going to go in purely for tree takedownification because there's a lot in the way, as you can see, at least for this biome. Okay, we are starting to get somewhere. I am finally creating conveyor belts from scratch in another assembler. Yeah, from scratch, I guess so. There's just a lot going on, and it is clearly becoming that kind of one-sided main bus, which is... I know it's not the best design. I know two-sided is probably a little bit easier to work with, but again, I don't really know what goods are going to be needed mainly on this bus. I would suspect it's going to be the xenoferrite plates and the technum rods, but still, like, just kind of waiting to see. And at the same time, I'm not... I don't really want to say it before I say it. I'm not sure if there's going to be as many goods as, like, something as labyrinthine as... It could be worse. It could be worse. But I just know what this is going to look like in the end, so... I think I'm going to start there, and then we've also got science packs, which are going to require conveyor belts, and then also building blocks. So that is another piece. Some of these are being produced on site, but just kind of taking it one step at a time as I get more and more of these goods in place. Okay, I am starting to experiment with more, like, vertical structures for organizing this main bus, so it's not going to be like quite as awful as like it's much more easy to see it all when it's all in front of you, but when it is, or when you're above it all, but when you're in the midst of it all, I feel like there are some obvious patterns I'm probably missing. So for right here, I'm basically just utilizing the vertical space to hopefully like not make or just, you know, not overdo it, because I still want my 2D structures to kind of make sense, but when I can't think of a way, I'm starting to rely on the vertical dimension a little bit more, which I think is totally fine here. I feel completely okay about myself, and I'm not dying inside. But yeah, that is to say, like, you know, getting along with red science. Feeling good that we've at least got the second type of science produced over here, although bringing it to the sciencers is going to be problematic. I'm about to get very vertical here, and it's going to look crazy. Okay, I have connected back the red science. It's kind of hard to see, but it's going over the main bus. So the main bus goes this way, the red science comes up and over and back over to the science place. So here we go with our first 5 or so getting pumped in. Really not enough of a flow yet, but that's the main idea. We'll manage the resource flows later. We still need on our research interface, we've got already research on the door. I'm thinking if we go for, like, well, explosives would be cool. A lot of this stuff would be quite cool. Is there anything that can get us getting stuff out of the ground faster, or logistics container? Better we don't really need that yet. What is this? Crafting speed would be kind of nice. mining time would also be kind of nice. Although getting up to green science, or assembler Mark II maybe, just because we know we're gonna need it, right? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, we are just about at full production here with our, what is this again? Whatever it is creating the xenoferrite plates. Here we go. So we're getting like a smooth stream of this. Oh, I think we're just missing one every now and then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we need 8 for each line, so I will up it to 8 smelters for each of these things. But from there, I think that is one full column, maybe? At least that seems to be a smelting column, because we couldn't go any faster out of this belt, to be fair, so that makes sense. Although there are faster belts that we could upgrade to. These we still haven't hit our capacity yet, but that is getting us to better science, and now we're getting up to steel making, and it's all beginning all over again, and you know what happens from here. We start to lose our minds. I'll probably be inside for the next few days, just thinking of combinations. These really do take over my every move when I get into the automation, you know what I'm saying? All right, so here we go, output and input, and that should be... Let's see if it actually gets to like a steady stream. Yeah, like that does appear as if it's moving all the way down to the end. Maybe that is enough for a perfectly constant stream of ores. Amazing. That does appear to be enough for a perfectly constant stream of plates. So simple as that. 8 is like a pretty reasonable number, but what that results in is then it gets pooped out into here. These still haven't fully benefited from like the speed of manufacturing. Then I guess you can see that these are starting to pile up. Those are just sort of progressively coming in faster, and then this should eventually trickle down over to here, and ultimately here, which will then get us to better science production, because right now it's been taking longer to produce belts. So the belts are coming from over here, and then the belts require more of these plates, which they have everything else, but that's about all you can say about that. We need to go faster now. All right, we're getting kind of like a nice spread between exploring as well as like factory management right here. I've got pretty much a little bit of everything working. We're about to get level 2 assemblers, which is going to double the efficiency of everything. Really don't need too many of a lot of these things, but I think in the meantime there's pretty good efficiency on machines, and I might as well just go into these voxel cliffs. Pretty satisfying, honestly, to just take some of this down, but I do want to keep most of my factory on one level, just for simplicity's sake, because otherwise it's going to get kind of out of hand pretty fast if we try to do multiple levels, and it's just going to be a headache. So I figure I'm better off just leveling off all of the cliffs and soullessly deforesting the entire region before we proceed any further. Okay, I have unlocked assembler level 2. We should be just about ready to make one of those, that we're going to need steel beams, so it's going to be a minute on that. Let's figure out how to get all of that stuff going. We have xenoferrite, ignium ore blend made in an advanced smelter. Okay, so we're going to need to do quite a lot more for that. But I'm thinking that this will be a more scalable way to handle this kind of crap, because right now we're producing literally this much red science, which is just like a very slow trickle, obviously. So we're going to need to handle that if we want to go any further here. But in the meantime, let's up our mining drill speed, because there is a lot to be done there as well. Otherwise, a lot of this is just kind of furniture. Explosives could be fun, but I've already kind of got the drill on me, so let's go ahead and do that right now. Okay, I'm running out of room. Or rather, the factory is doing so well, amazingly, that it requires more plates. So I figured we should just open up a second lane. I mean, we'll be improving the speed, but it's probably going to go more or less in the direction of a main bus eventually. So we're probably going to need more than one lane of these things. Just looking ahead and without trying to just research every new technology, you know, scale kind of has more returns first, so we'll handle that. In the meantime, I'm glad that I left a lot of room for these smelting columns, because that does seem to be something that we're spending more and more time on too, and we're about to get more drill mining speed, which will be kind of nice because I guess I'll just go through all these blocks like air. You have kind of like an auto jump here. It's rather pleasant, although it's good because it doesn't actually seem to activate when I'm just drilling. So, good quality of life, that is to say. And okay, I've just reached drill mining speed level 2. Maybe slightly faster. I don't know. Okay, yeah, I am going a bit faster. It'll be nice to just basically be able to walk through this, although I do think that at the very end there's something called like a mining laser, which sounds interesting. I mean, any type of laser could turn the whole day around, you know how it is. I think explosives, though, potentially just for the sake of the excitement, but let's do the responsible thing and get some better conveyor belts, and then, only then, live dangerously. Okay, we've finally just connected the second lane here. It's really not a true connection because it still narrows out to 1, but still, I mean, better flow here, and that allows us to just kind of store some of this stuff as we go. I think we are now cooking, man. Up next, it is better conveyor belts and then just widening out everything. How does it look from the map, though? All right, we're starting to get a little bit of that circuit board look to it, which is kind of what we're going for, although I think we now need to build out the other side as well. But now I would kind of appreciate better landscaping tools, and we're also going through a lot of this ore, so sooner or later we're going to have to find a new patch of this stuff, though this has lasted way longer than I expected it to, so that is good news. Okay, the factory must grow. When you can't figure out what you're doing, just ignore it and move on. Though we do need more. This should be machinery parts. Okay, so we could make the level 2 belts fairly easily from this, as well as conveyor balancer level 2. This will all be upgrades. For now, we've basically got the 2 of these things, but they do stop from time to time. And yet, even still, they aren't really fully efficient. I tried just kind of spamming belt balancers to see if that would help. It did, to a certain extent. Now we've actually got fairly decent plate density in this spot, so now I suppose we're producing... Oh, good, we're actually getting a buildup of belts on our red science, which means that we should be producing 4 red science about as fast as we can, but at least with level 1 assemblers. The next step is to just make it bigger. Yeah, there's really no, that's it. It's simple as that. Okay, I've just cleared out another patch of area for another smelting setup. I've got a few more smelters to make here. Looks like we are coming to the end of our rod production. We could probably expand that just because we've done so much more with the xenoferrite ore. So now we've got technum that still kind of needs doing here. Are we really... Okay, this is our output line. Yeah, we could get this super efficient up to, I want to say 8 of them. I think 8 is what makes a full lane full of goods. So once we have that... I've also expanded our science production. Are we at... Yep, we are using all of it now. And we're actually producing surplus science, which is kind of nice. So we caught up with all our scarce resources. And now, of all things, we're missing blue science, so I'm trying to get these technum rods back up to speed, so that's the current goal. But, like, a little bit of back and forth. Look at all that good smoke rising up. And I know it's not really good, but, I mean, there's no real environment to speak of. Are we actually full on plates? I might have overestimated that. Is it 7? Maybe I was off. Not sure why it's these 2 in particular. You might have to check that out, but yeah, onto this one. We won't try to be like so perfect with everything. We'll just kind of figure out the ratios as we come to the end of it. Then I suppose. Okay, just kind of taking a look at everything right now. There are our smelting columns. You can kind of see it now that I'm able to get a better vantage point. In fact, you know what I might even just do here? Okay, I've just sort of built myself a massive conveyor belt upward. Can I go even further from up here? That may prove problematic. Okay, I'll need to get like a better vantage point. But you can kind of get the gist of this though now. Mineable resources over here. And some out there, and then some over here. gosh, this is such a cool angle to see this from, especially with the miners, like, doing their thing there. Anyway, ores go over to the smelting column. Now I've got 2 lanes on each of them. Still kind of optimizing here, but then everything kind of comes back through these 2 lanes and these 2 lanes. Goes into the factory, goes through some very scuffed splitting that still needs to be worked on, and then gets put out into production chain. This is the direction of the main bus, and then there are each of the resource like assemblies going in and then back out into the main bus for wherever they're needed for stuff. And then just a couple of like side things like loading up on plates and rods as needed over here. But yeah, that is and then science over there. That is the general gist of what's going on here. From this point, we're researching explosives, and what else do we have to research? Here is my whole tree. There is quite a lot to be done here, as you can see, and so I don't really remember what I'm at now. Maybe I'll put the day count on the bottom of this, maybe not. I'm probably about 2 weeks in now, but long days and nights, yeah, like, actually gives me some time to work on some stuff, but it is starting to look like, you know, something more than just a forest with a couple of random, like, constructor things in it. Or whatever you would call it. I'm not too particularly good at these types of games, but I do learn at them. Not that there's anything really like redeeming about the quality of my learning. I guess it is hard learning once I've learned it, but I learn slow. So that's where we're at now. At least this is scalable and we won't run into any kind of weird bottlenecks. Well, famous last words. You never know. All right. Back to work. Okay, we have just researched explosives, which surprisingly are not actually that hard to create. So, explosives detonator, explosives charge, explosives, ignium or rubble, which is required, which is actually not that bad. I guess we've been using that for fuel, but this might prove handy in getting rid of the rest of these cliffs. So let's see if we can get another menu ready here. If we go over to our backpack, and then... Oh no, wow, we actually have to do a lot of assembly for that. We can make these things on site, though. Let me just turn on my flashlight. Here we go. Whoops, there we go. That is that. Handling these. Alright, we're ready to blow up some cliffs now. Let's go head over there, because it was kind of annoying to have to do all of this by hand, but, yeah, we've got somewhat of a useful menu here still. Mineral rock, or minerals, Murray. Versatile mineral-rich rock. That can be used for many different appliances. All right, I'll take it. I mean, we're gonna run out of other stuff anyway, right? So, better now than never, I suppose. Let's go ahead and go over here. 5 meters. Not sure that's actually gonna be enough. I guess we'll throw it down. It must be like C4 or something. Right? Try that there, and then... How far away should we really go? Very cool, very cool. How much did that actually take away? Alright, seemingly useful for getting rid of large swaths of minerals, or what have you, but we're going to need to sculpt the land back into place there, I suppose, so can we just... Alright, that is very nice, because I do want some of that back. Significantly faster, most probably, than mining, unless if... Well, depending upon the size of the area, but... Also very cool for mining if we want to go down further, but... Not exactly against mining, but another option, Yay, verily. Okay, I had to try this. I made a lot more explosives, and now... Somewhat impressive still. That was... How many of those was that? Well, let's go see what we did. 1, 2, I think it was about 10, 3. Wow, that one made a huge hole. 4, 5. Probably better to just blow everything up, to be totally honest. Yeah, and then maybe take all of that and then just place factory there, because now this is a lot less to mine out. Still is kind of a mess, but I mean, like, the natural world yields no use to us, right? So... I mean, aside from what is made of metal, after all. So, I think we're probably just better off just mushing all of this into the void, because this is certainly not worth the time, like, just digging out all of this. Yeah, let's do that, and then we'll just produce more factory floor. Really, the whole point is to just clear out right here, so that seems like a massive waste of time. Let's get rid of the rest of it and just make this one giant crater. Okay, if I'm right, this explosion should be twice as large. Ready, set? Right, that's more like it. We are starting to get a lot of craters formed. This will be terrible to look at, but I'm just going to cover the whole thing up with factory anyway, and this keeps it nice and level so we don't have to keep going in and, you know, digging under cliffs just to get anything down. Don't really know the applications of dirt right here, but we could always just, like, place a nice spread of dirt over it all if we wanted a level walking surface, but I'm not even sure that's going to be necessary right here. Just, yeah, like, go wild with this stuff. There we go. So that's, like, a whole new area for factory floors to be placed on. Might do some of it from above, because it looks kind of sweet, just to do, like, an entire forest right here. How much more do we have also? Quite a lot, so don't worry about it. Everything I did is totally justified. Just don't ask so many questions. But yeah, here we are. Not much else to say, just a lot of, yeah, no active research right now. Humming along nicely, though. Okay, I have just configured the xenoferrite ignium ore blend crushers, which are exactly what they sound like. And at this point in time, I will admit to you, I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to creating Let's Plays with automation games. So I just update whenever I accomplish something that feels good, but probably when I put all these pieces together. Maybe it will feel slightly faster, but most of it is just kind of me, like, analyzing in the background, and that is, I mean, I suppose we've accomplished a lot, but generally speaking, it is very unimpressive how slow it is, but when you put all the pieces together in the end, like, it just winds up being something kind of beautiful, which is why I've selected such a long day count. What are we at now? 15 or so? Anyway, I don't really see any end in sight, so I've just sort of reached this part of the playthrough where I'm like, let's just build everything that it tells me to, because I can't really figure out what I'm headed for. I think the only thing for me about automation games that don't involve massive, like, violent, enemy threats coming in to attack you is just sort of the sense of, like, this is pretty chill, but also labyrinthine and wild. Although I don't really have a sense of time. Here we go. So we have the blend. Who is it for? The steel. Oh, there we go. So we have the crushers crushing. Hydraulic press channel on in there. We have... Where do we use this? Let's just bring everything back into our main bus. The other thing I've done is this crushing section, because crushing ores is a little different for me. So I've put that out on this axis. Like, this is kind of the central area. Hopefully I made enough space for this, because if not, we may be in trouble. But yeah, the main bus goes out this way. Crushing, power generation, smelting. Arguably this is the wrong spot for it, but oh well, who cares? Eventually we'll run out of ores anyway, and we'll just need some delivery area over here, I suppose, right? Right? You know, I just realized, I don't know why I've been overcomplicating my life so much when I could just stack goods one over the other. Like, look at this. I'm an idiot. I could have been living this way instead, where instead of just having, you know, everything next to each other, we just stack them over. If we have a third dimension, everything is totally fine. We can go up very high. It is challenging to come back down, that's true, but I guess that the scalability here is kind of insane. But yeah, I just had to add in steel, and I was like, you know, I don't really feel like I want to bring it down any further, and I don't want to just keep moving out the main bus, because that's kind of annoying. It looks good enough as is, but I don't want it to be 2 or 3 or more deep, because then after that, you know, it just gets crazy. But okay, that's enough so that we can get to, ooh, special sound. High voltage energy grid has been unlocked. We are going to assemble advanced machinery parts, which to get that requires steel beams, so this seems like the next kind of tier of items for us. So produce these with these plates, we'll just produce those on site. Some of the lessons learned from Factorio are kind of paying off here, because that was the last automation game I really sunk my teeth into recently. Again, barricading myself into a room for like 36 hours. But in the time, my cerebrum grew. Alright, we finally got advanced machine components. So now I continue to feel confused, but at the same time, like, let's just kind of see how far we've come. I mean, look at the number of goods that we've got. And it is multiplied astoundingly. Our inventory size is growing, which is becoming necessary because I did hit max inventory size, but we're still on level 2 of everything. So we are going to be getting Olite fuel. Ooh, jetpack actually comes at science level 3. That's the one that I'm, like, kinda excited about. Ooh, cool, jetpack speed as well. Right, but here is, like, overall picture where we're at. So we've got, I have to scroll around a bit. We've got most of this research done over here. We've got a little bit done over here and a little bit over here. This is stuff for your person, you know, your character. But then all the more kind of advanced technologies and refining are down here. And we are still not very far through that. So that's where we're at. But fortunately, research isn't like so long here. But ooh, concrete. Okay, cool. Maybe power poles would be good too, because it looks like we're going to need to join like faraway regions as well. Okay, we have reached what is arguably the single greatest moment in any automation crafting game, when we're using an assembler to craft another assembler. The greatest cameo of all time by the assembler. I do like this moment because it means that you've finally achieved recursion, and it is important to me. I had the other things processed, but this is a turning point in the American Revolution. We're going to go ahead and do, like, now that we have that, we want to obviously get, like, better flow going here, because we have so much red science, but we don't have any blue science, oddly enough. Like, we've kind of bottlenecked ourselves here. So we want to make sure that all those kind of early resources are still strong. See here, this is coming out at like a trickle. So if we take all of the stuff that we just made, and now we get these advanced components, it's going to make it even easier to make. How easy is it to make level 2 assemblers? Yeah, all we need is a regular assembler plus advanced machinery parts, which is actually a fairly easy recipe. We might even just want to go straight to level 2 assemblers, but still kind of TBD whether it's worth it on the power consumption. So let's just grab these. Where are our advanced? Here we go. These are the advanced ones. We just grab these. And now we can bring these back to earlier on in our grid to just make sure that everything is flowing smoothly. We've got good saturation, though, throughout these belts, which I like that. But now probably the big one right here to replace is... Oh, wait, no. Now these are fine. Never mind. We'll just keep replacing these until I feel better about myself, then. Okay. Give me 4 or 5 of these. I'll allow it. And then we do... I mean, you know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to replace them, but I'll do one here in front of you, since you asked. We will put this here, and we do have a slightly faster production value on each of these. Let's put, like, the panel on the front, maybe for the front one, just to know what is in each one of these things. Okay, so we make those. Whoops. Nope, that's not what I'm making at all. Whoops-a-daisy. Here we go. All right, cool. So how fast is it to create that? It's nice how it tells you. Okay, so we just got like another 33 and a third plus 180 of 970, which gives us 110% efficiency, right? Bad math. Whatever, it's faster. Oh, look, we're doing fine now. How brilliant that was. Brilliant. All right, more work to come. It's yellow. Look at it. Amazing. All right, we've just unlocked Science Packs level 3, which... How many are there? There are... gotta be 5 different types of Science Packs. Okay, so we are like 60% of the way there, but we've only seen 40% since we're not quite there yet. There is a lot of content in this game, and that is a good thing, but I am intimidated and afraid. So I'm going to probably research the next type of science. The main problem, though, right now is that we're getting kind of a bottleneck because we simply can't get enough of these, whatever these are, machinery parts. And that is problematic because I would like to be able to produce blue science faster, which strangely we somehow got to the end of our red science. I guess because I did a better job scaling that production. Anyway, I thought by upgrading these types of assemblers that would improve it, but yay, verily no, it did not. So I'm trying to upgrade the belt to try to get that sped in faster. That is also not working, so I am going to probably just make more of them. Yeah, that's all you can really say here, is you just feed it in faster and hope. Yeah, look at that. See, we are lagging here, man. Okay, I think we can add more smelters to this mix now, though. Oh. No, wait, that was a different spot. It's fine, but this should be able to accommodate probably more than 8 of these things then, right? Or are they still... Wow, they are still producing rather fast. Oh, that means then that we need to feed in the ores faster then, doesn't it? Basically, we've just entered the phase of more of everything, you know what I'm saying? But okay, I guess if we're like still producing that much of it, then the inputs still must be working, so let's just focus on the outputs, and then it's just one thing after another in here. Okay, so we have just located mineral rock. This is somewhat deep below the Earth's surface, and directly underneath the factory. Actually, that part doesn't make a huge difference, because we'll just be able to feed it up, and this is a decent spot into the main bus, but what we need next is going to be a lot. We need to make concrete, and for that we need cement, and for that we need gravel. So gravel comes from mineral rocks, but it is made in a crusher. And then cement requires mineral rocks as well as xenoferrite or rubble. So we're probably going to need another deposit of this sooner or later. And then along with that, we're going to need water, which I'm assuming we just pump from the bodies of water around us, and hopefully is unlimited. But if not, then we're going to have to keep like dehydrating the entire Earth, which is would add to the pollution. We're going to now. All the blue science is being produced, fortunately, but now green science becomes the next sense. So we'll just do all of the useless blue science stuff whilst we dig beneath the Earth's surface. Where is this again? I guess we should just go straight down. To be fair, right? Like now we're really going to get into some of the vertical constructions. I mean, I guess we could mine underneath from the side, but it doesn't really make a huge difference. I'm going to start to get very vertical and silly in a few seconds, so let's just get flush with this deposit, and then we'll go... Yeah, we're going down. I guess we're going to need a stairway as well, so this makes that, like, slightly less useless than it was before. Okay, so we're beginning our Minecraft adventure in today's Minecraft Let's Play. Here we go. We're going to, basically just go straight down here. I guess I'm going to be making a stairway with one route up and then another one to, this is really cool. This is like all the things that I would want to do in a 3D Factorio, but also like with all of the kind of beauty of a game like Satis. That was something that, I always felt like I kind of preferred the grids myself. Like, I just enjoy the systematic nature of it, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, ooh, very cool. Now we're making our way into the mineral rock. If we do like this, are we on top of it yet? No, we need like a little bit more. But yes, like a very satisfying notion, that is to say. Here I go with these huge words. Notion. Who am I even? The president or something? Alright. Are we on it? I think this is the mineral rock. Or minerals, Marie. I guess, oh god, it's so depressing to be down these holes again. Wait a minute, is this it? Yep, this is it. Okay, so now we can construct another miner. I feel so excited to be here at this stuff. I think that the miners are fairly autonomous, though. They should be able to just handle themselves. Hopefully no cave-ins. But if we just dig out maybe a few of these dirt blocks in the walls, just to, like, make a little bit of way for them. Yeah, that seems good. Just open up a bit of a higher ceiling down here. I'm, like, regretting not going this adventure with a friend. Maybe, like, maybe next time I'll bring along, I don't know, the president or something. Okay, I think we've finally done it. Yep, we've got drones doing their jobs now down here. I'm just going to mine out some more of this wall so that they can get more stuff done here. But I am tired of being underground, but, oh, whoops, no conveyor on the output. Let's fix that. Here we go. Do. Nah. And finally, we've got this stuff going. This is like the gravel or mineral rock or something. Why is it unable to oh, I guess because it can't get up to the ceiling. It must, like, collide with that somehow. I will save you, gravel rock. Get in there and be somebody. Maybe that didn't work either. Oh, no, I've got it reversed. Dang. Okay, very easy to fix this. The point is this, we are now able to take the gravel rock and put it somewhere else. And that is pretty good news, because there is a crap load of stuff we have to put in for the next part. Whoops, I did this one wrong as well. I must be having a senior moment right here. Here we go. Okay. All right, there it goes. Oh, God, I can't even speak. There it goes. I'm so happy. I hate being underground. There we go. I think that's about all there is to say about the gravel rock. Now we just bring it up and around. Just felt like a moment worth celebrating. Yeah, now that means that we can finally bring this over, and we are one step closer to making, oh God, what happens when we have to make more of this? I really should have just bombed out the Earth, but that one, like, location was kind of in a terrible place, so it is what it is. We'll bring this to the crusher, then that gets made into gravel. The gravel... Oh no, we can use the mineral rocks directly for... I have to figure this out. There's a lot of inputs and outputs. Okay, we have finally just gotten to the creation of cement. Actually, not that bad, because we got to the mineral rock rebel, which is also creating the gravel, so I figured I could just line these two up, because we need xenoferrite or rubble here. And this is actually kind of a rather nice picture, because it's two inputs, two belts side by side, but it creates two outputs side by side, which is kind of nice. I guess we'll need more of this, so we might need a faster belt here, but I have to check input ratios. So now we have cement over there and gravel over here coming out. What do we actually need for science? We need concrete. We have the advanced machinery parts and the pipes. Those were pretty easy. I mean, they weren't easy, but they were the result of... Oh, wow, this is getting rather large. Of our production chain over there. And just climb on this thing. You know what? I'd better just build some stairs, just so that I could see everything. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. Okay, there we go. Now I have to keep getting higher and higher to see the factory, but you get a better vantage point of everything right now. So, crusher's going off in the southern direction over here. Wow, we're getting really the circuit board look now. We've got, these are the smelters, so let me just orient myself. If I'm facing north, this is north. These are my smelters. Very beautiful and cool. And then over here, we've got most of our mining operations. We've got more mining going on underground now. You can't actually really see it, but it's over there. Then we've got all of our assembly line over here. The main bus going up and down with these huge belts of goods on that. And then we've also got a little bit more mining that continues here. I'm imagining that we're probably going to get some type of ore delivery over here, or maybe like over here if I can help it. I kind of want your ore delivery very central, I suppose. But then over here, we're finally starting to get some of those other resources. Now, we need to take this gravel and the concrete, which is right there, and we need to combine them with water. Sorry, cement. I meant to say cement. So we take that, and we include water. What am I even saying anymore? Like, it's that's what it turns into playing these games. You just don't even know who you are anymore by the end of it. So we're going to take the pipe intake, I suppose, and just see how we can do this. I guess we're going to have to hook this up manually to a machine. But once we have that, we'll be able to create cement. I guess I'm going to run this all along the production chain, but the fact that I have these two goods here might just necessitate making... You know, we could go on the opposite end of our main bus now. I don't think the main bus is going to get that much wider than this. But I've been wrong before. Otherwise, it'll just get ridiculous and vertical. That's the general idea, though. I think that this is looking a lot more interesting from up here. Okay, we have finally come to water over here. So, I've decided to go for this, like, river kind of looking thing. Because it does connect to a larger body of water, so we should have good flow here. We'll see about that, if that works out over time. And we've also got some other unknown resource over here. That's kind of nice. So I think that we put in some pipes. We're also going to have to connect those to our power grid and then pump that back. But now we do have enough for power poles because this is going to get kind of inconvenient to connect the foundations this far away. So this is probably going to be a better way to do it. Anyway, I have to make some trips, but now we're really starting to get, like... all around the landscape, man. Okay, now we're connecting the power poles. This is kind of a cool step. So, the one step that I guess I missed right here that seems like it could be kind of easy to miss. Oh, actually, you just connect the power lines. So I was putting down power poles, but I didn't have them connected to power lines. So you have to be careful with that. Just make sure that you've got it. So I've got 6 now, so I actually place the power pole individually, and then I go in and do that. And then you can kind of run them like that, and that's a little bit easier once they are 16 meters apart. But I believe these have 5 max connections. I guess that's more than 16 right there, so I'm going to have to place another one. Not really the neatest line, but I'm just kind of going for function right here, not really, like, beauty. I mean, you know, beauty is sort of function in a way, but it is what it is. Let's deselect this just for a second, and then bring it back here. Cool. And are you really that far apart? Okay, maybe I messed something up there. Not really sure, but it looks like we are connected to the grid now. Which is cool. Like, that looks so... It's crazy to me, like, how good... Like, that looks like something out of a fully rendered game, you know what I'm saying? Or, not fully rendered, like, pre-rendered, you know what I'm saying? Not like something that I just placed down. I don't know what I'm talking about, but you know what I mean. Of course you do. We're going to go ahead here now, and we've got the pumps in our inventory. Why am I saying pumps like that? Just ignore me. Let's go ahead and put these pumps in. I can't say it anymore. All right. We've established that I'm losing my mind. Now that we're on the same page. Pump flows up, I suppose. Could we go in the water? All right, I'll allow it. And then that, I don't even know who I am anymore. Oh god. This is going to be so interesting. H to rotate on the Z-axis, rotate X-axis. There we go, that's what I needed. So then this pump will just go directly up. Swoop! There goes the pump. That's the sound that a pump makes, of course. Oh no, what have I done? It's a good thing that you can deconstruct from far away, because this is going to be tricky. I guess we need to curve-a-derv the pump. Yeah, that. I need to figure out how to curve these things. Okay, here we go. Hold right mouse button for... Oh, wow, we could make we could even make a 6 intersection. Let's just do a corner for now. Are we there? Let's just get to a point where we're level. This is actually fairly good, considering that this could be a horribly confusing control set to create. I think we are currently at level. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now we rotate, and then... Oh, this is surprisingly easy to get a hang of. Okay. Let's go ahead and do T, and then we do that again. I like this. It seemed like it would be satisfying, and then I realized the enormity of the task of just creating a pipe system. And then it got worse, and then it got better. And then I felt better. It's unfortunate I put those on the same level. Hang on a second. Okay, you know, I probably could have done this in a more, like, space-efficient way, but I thought it would just look intimidating to have a long, singular pipe floating in midair all the way from just an undisclosed destination at the beginning, or origin point. But yeah, that gives us water. I just need to bring the rest of that over, and then now we can finally get over to... That will produce the cement, or the concrete, which will then finally be used to produce the thing that makes the science. And then we have to feed the science into... There's so many steps in this, but once we get it, I do believe then we can get a jetpack, which is quite cool. You know, I just realized something that might have been, like, a lot simpler. Would have just been to run the water over here in some way by, like, terraforming the earth a bit, but... No, I think giant mechanical pipe works a lot better, so we'll just go with that. Just like a far better aesthetic choice than slightly like diverting the water. No, never. Okay, I have missed this input. At first I tried putting it in on the bottom, and then I realized that there are these giant pipes on the top. Oh, that is the water one. Wish I knew that before. Never mind, I'll be right back. Okay, things seem to be working. I'm not quite sure what these pipes, or these pipes, whatever they are, were for. I'll figure that out later, but for right now, we seem to be creating concrete, and that is good news because, well, we weren't before, and now we are. Although the rate at which it's being produced is alarmingly slow. Oh, that produces so much of it, though. That's so much better than I thought it would be. All right, look, we've got ourselves some amazing concrete. Now, all we have to do is bring this all the way back over there, combine it with these other things, then make that into science packs, and then we bring all the science back over to the labs. And then we might rest for a minute. I love the way how, when you look at the pipes over there, like, it was so simple, one input, one output. That's all there is to it. And then when you look at the concrete, you have to follow this massive multi-step production chain that goes all the way over there and then back into the earth and then goes and takes water from over there. But the good news is that the more of these things we have, anything new that depends on them, we don't have to reestablish the whole production chain. We can just, like, make it slightly faster. So that is nice to say. We are now just about... I think all we need is those advanced machinery components, and then we can get going. Okay, after... Actually, I was sitting here for about an hour and a half just to get that next resource, but... Just for reference, 1.5 hours to produce one of these. Amazing. Of course, it can obviously be scaled now a lot more easily, and then... figure out like the other input chains, but it's crazy just how many more goods are floating around now. This part is fine over here, but we are using level 2 assemblers, and it still does take quite a while to make one of these things, even with full inputs on everything. I would like to just see how many of these things... We are going to need 50 of each of these. Well, 30 for the first ones, but if we want to get, like, say, for example, the jetpack, I'm just really dying to get the jetpack, man. Oh wow, we actually have third lane loaders. I didn't know that. I wish I had known that before. That does kind of change some of my configurations, but maybe only for the later ones. Oh, I accidentally just licked my microphone. That wasn't such a great idea. Alright, well, I think I'm going to go and, well, let's prepare for the jetpack. Hang on a second. Where is that? Show me that jetpack. First off, we need jetpack fuel. Okay, but we are getting pretty close here, aren't we? We do need 100 of each, so this is still a little ways off. And then after that, 75. So we're like 175 away, then I would say. But what else do we need? What is another preliminary research to that? Oh, I think we need chemical... Okay, so circuit boards and chemical processing. But in order to get with that, we need basic Olite processing. So we are still a little ways away, but you know, when we do get it, it will be great. Wow, that's really coming along. An update from Carl.
Incorporating plants and trees into a factory setup
I don't plan it.
not only enhances its aesthetic, but also
okay, all right. So we can create more seeds. That was another bit of research I was doing. Not really. Okay, I guess biomass farming. Like, farming is kind of cool. Would look sweet in here because everything is just kind of gray and deforested. And if we continue down this line, we won't have anything left in the forest. I mean, there's always like some sort of lush backdrop. But, yeah, I really just need the green science right now, man. Like, we can't get enough. Although, I mean, If playing enough automation games has convinced me of one thing, it's that you can never automate enough. Like, there's never any type of thing like, oh, I'll just produce some of it by hand. No, everything kind of needs to be scaled. Like, otherwise you will be doing a lot of running back and forth, so... it shouldn't be long before we're producing, like, way too much green science, ironically, despite the fact that there is one there right now. Just you wait. A few more minutes. Okay, we are on the last of the red-blue research. Now we're coming up onto all of the red-blue-green research. We have expanded our crushing facilities. Yes, that's a real thing. Whoops, we gotta make these into outputs. A couple of little changes here. There we go. Now we are making tons and tons of cement. We've got a good flow of that going. That's nice. Because the next step is going to be, now that the cement blocks are basically, they will be coming out at a more or less constant stream once I finish this part up. Then we'll have tons and tons of green science. We'll have to rebalance our science production to make sure we're producing enough of each. We haven't used up any green science, so that's just the trickle of one flows as we've gone. But you can see that they're starting to come up slightly more frequently than they were when I checked before. So now we're getting more cement, and then once we get done with that, or concrete, what is it even? I don't remember. Concrete. And cement. Man, never mind. Anyway, so when we're done with that, what do we even do? Who are we? Who am I anymore? We have escalators, jeez. I guess filter loader. I don't even know what else I need. I thought I was happy with my life, and then alright. We need 75 of these for this, so I guess we'll try with that. And it looks like I need to place more long arm loaders too. Okay, we've got Olite processing, which is some sort of like oil technology, I think. I don't know, there's a lot in this game. We have now circuit boards, which will soon lead us to the jetpacks, I believe, which is really like what it's all for, right? So I think once we get Olite fuel, then we'll be able to, I guess, like fuel our I was gonna say jacket backpack, but jetpack, at times. But again, like some bottlenecks, like advanced machinery. But I guess it'll be kind of more interesting to watch this ultimately to see what happens. Like every single time that I reload, there's another line of something going across here. Until it'll just be a labyrinth. Although this is pretty low to the floor, I still feel as though we have a lot of room to expand upward. Maybe that one I did. But I tried to keep it pretty low. I guess from all the Factorio play that I've done, it's made my belt a lot cleaner. Or just like my whole organization. Yeah, here we go. This is looking good. Looking like my last one, though. But here we go. I think the limiting factor is just those machine parts now. But, I mean, research is happening pretty fast. So it's mostly just setting up new production chains. Oh, God, I've fallen through the world. Oh, I'm back. I'm somehow back. That was so awesome. I just wanted to report that moment. I don't know what I went through, but I must be tripping on something. Alright, I just spent the last half hour trying to slightly increase the steel beam production, but that should get us plenty of steel beams now so that we can create more advanced machine parts, which have kind of slowed down to a trickle here. And then once we have the advanced machine parts, then we'll be producing green science faster. Pretty much everything goes through this train of thought. Like every other belt is now just saturated with resources. Aside from that one, the advanced machine part, or really it starts at the steel. Actually, come to think of it, every other belt is loaded. Aside from those ones, yeah, it is just that one resource. And then once you fix that bottleneck, then something else gives way. But, yeah, better vantage point here. Steel was coming in very slowly, has now sped up. It will speed up more. Leads to more advanced machine parts. The more advanced machine parts lead to more production over here. That leads to more green science, and then we'll finally get more green science, and then that'll look like all the other belts. But once we do that, then problem solved, and we're back in the race. Okay, segue to right now. I have built a massive ladder platform, which I guess I should have done a long time ago, with a walkway right here, just so that I can see the entire factory from the top. So looking at it from the north, like this is basically what we're seeing. You know, we've got our smelting columns down there. I just think it's a cool angle for it. You can actually see how much, like, mining material we've got left. I guess if we equip our scanner, too, that's going to be another way to look at this. Though it takes a while for that just to get to the ground. And we've got Technum ore left. We've got Ignium ore over there. And then how much of each of the others... Really, the Xenoferrite ore is the lowest one. That's starting to look a bit sparse. But you can kind of see what you're missing on of anything in the factory. Although, I wish there were a way to, like, zoom. Or if there is one, I don't know the button for it. But yeah, I'm like... I've got a pretty good resource flow going over here, but you can also see that the one thing that's at a trickle still is green science, and that is pretty easy to tell, but then we can check on the... I guess this is kind of an advantage of having done everything in 2D first, because if we did it in 3D, it would be so much harder to see what is going on right here. Harder than it already is, that is to say. So... All that being said, oh yeah, and there's our underground mine as well. Just kind of a cool look at it, though. Oh, I love that, man. That's just so pretty. All right, I've decided that we're low enough on Xenoferrite ore, and I'm pretty much producing at max capacity that I can here. The one thing that's really limiting us still is just the steel production, which is kind of an odd item to have here. Where is it? I'm just losing track of which good it even is. This is all of it that we're producing of the... What are we even making here again anymore? I've lost my mind several times since I began. This is the Xenoferrite Ignium ore blend. Sorry, these are other ones. I'm just getting them off the thing. But, yeah, this is not really enough of this stuff. We want to be producing a lot more, but I'm already putting stuff in at pretty much, like, the max rate that I could for the belt types that I have right now. Yeah, see, we even just got stopped up there for a second. So that's a good sign that we're actually starting to come at this. Hard to tell if we could even fit another one of these. Actually, we may be able to fit another one in here now that we're hitting saturation. That was what I was kind of looking for. But yeah, I still don't think that's going to be enough. I think we're going to need another Xenoferrite ore patch. So if we... Hang on a second. If we do this, we maybe build another crusher or set of crushers, then we will be ready for the thing. That is all, but... Yeah, I mean, like, this will trigger more exploration events in the future. Okay, it's time to go on an adventure. I am running out of Xenoferrite ore, I've decided. It is, I would say, like 33% of what we had to begin with. And, oh, cool, we've got, like, actually a little bit of an indicator of what's to come out there in the wilds. What is this? Reservoir of Olite. I knew about that one. Mineral rock I didn't know about, though. But now we come to some of the vast and labyrinthine, not really labyrinthine, just vast. I was reaching there. But, exploratory elements of the game, which there really is a lot of, like, beautiful land out here, man. Look at all the biomes, jeez. Wherever we wind up, I'm not sure I'm even going to have the technology yet, so I might just have to use a really, really long belt to bring back to our base. Robots don't do well with water. Why is this? Alright, I'll allow it. Having robots build other robots, that's just stupid. As Will Smith once said about robots in the film I, Robot. Great movie. Alright, let's, alright, but at least I've gotten rid of, like, the fog of war or whatever it is. Really nothing for a while. Maybe they are, like, deep underground and we need to do that somewhat. Oh, how now? There is something out there in the world. These look huge. Jeez, man. What is this? Yes, that's it. It looks about the same size as the one I started with, but whoa, that one was way underground, too. I don't think I take any falling damage here, either. Okay, so we've located some more Xenoferrite ore, and what is over here? This will make use of my explosives. Technum, okay, so more Technum ore and Xenoferrite ore, and it does actually give you 16, 16, 22, 18, 16, 14, so similar. It's hard to tell just by the 10 by 14, but yeah, but these are way bigger than the one I started with, I do believe. Okay, me thinks it's time to explode them out of the ground, because this is going to be a lot of mining here, and this kind of... Oh, it's just so sweet to see it underground, like highlighted in cubicle form like that. I can't get enough. This one is also pretty good over here. So there are several opportunities. Although this is going to require a lot of explosives. So we need some more of that tech too. That would just make our lives a whole lot easier. Right, we're just about ready to go into this. Let's blow up the ground here. Now this time we know instead, based on our past mistake, that we need to go in like kind of diagonally. Although I wish I had done this for the earlier point on the other side. Jesus, just... I'm pretty sure I'm immune to this. Yeah, look, I'm totally fine. I can just stand in the middle of it. I don't know why I've been, like, trying not to participate, you know? Here we go. In the explosives. Alright, let's do that. And 16 left. Alright, there we go. We've exposed the valuable minerals on the ground, and now we've got so much of life left to live unimpeded by explosives. I guess we could just kind of, like, take it out there. I'm probably doing some sort of damage to the ore by doing this, but I'm just gonna do it anyway and live my life and be the man who pioneered this and gave that sacrifice to science. Alright. Actually, I'm kind of curious. Does it? It looks like it... It looks like it did a little bit. I'm not totally positive about that. Now we can run power poles over here, but the other thing that I just learned is that there is another, like, node of xenoferrite ore over here, but it's just been unreachable because I still need mining force level 1, which is actually a pretty easy thing to research, so I just did that. I was like, I don't really need more mining force, I just sort of need more efficiency and speed. But apparently there are some areas of the game, I guess, that you can't get to unless you have the prerequisite technology. So we could, you know, wait for that, but I think in the meantime, I am going to need to expand to this one at some point because this is a resource we're using. This is basically the iron of this game. And I have to take care of that. I think in the meantime, let's just blow up a mountain because it's taking too long to get through, so... Whoops, alright, I guess I'm blowing up even more of the mountain than I just made it even harder for myself. I didn't even mean to... Never mind, I'm sorry, mountain. Okay, there was no way of... Or for some reason, my power poles aren't working. I don't know why, and I'm too lazy to figure it out, so I've just built a gigantic... box throughout the land, which looks honestly somewhat menacing. And I rather like it that way, in order to connect the power of my main base to my mining operation over here. So it's this giant, like, web. I guess we could actually walk on it if we want to, yeah. So here we are, la 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 la, nothing weird going on. Alright, so, mining efficiency, oh god. Like, slightly my heart is in my throat when I do that. What do they say, your stomach is in your mouth? I don't know what they say, but yeah, like, it causes my stomach to, you know, do the thing. Okay, we've finally got power onto this through my giant scuffed grid of squares. That's about all that I had to do for here, but now the major task becomes connecting it back via belts, which I think will be longer, so I'm just going to kind of handle that. I'm going to need quite a lot of them. I'm guessing that there's, like, trains for this, but I just happened to run out of my, like, main node earlier than expected. I do think we're about to get to the next, like, mining efficiency or something like that, but it's just not gonna happen, so... Whoops-a-daisy. Okay, I've just completed a massive feat of engineering, which is... I mean, it doesn't look all that impressive because all we really did was establish one more lane of xenoferrite ore, but it's the beginning of a huge deposit, so... this is important. This is key. It's nice. I like it. I'm happy. We've got it now. God, we have it's always one thing after another. Anyway, we can't just be happy for a few seconds. I'm going to just cross this thing because there's no other way of explaining it. Look, we've already got saturation. That's great. So... it's like the most expensive infrastructure project ever created. I guess it's kind of harder to appreciate if you don't really see it vast and in the distance, and at night might be trickier, but this is the main idea, is that it goes here all the way down there, off on that thing, back over there, and into that canyon where the deposit is located, over this mountain, and back over here, and that is our whole main base area. So all in all, that is a huge trek, and it's just all, like, L-shaped lines, but yeah, that's what happened, and I felt as though that was worth mentioning. I still just feel bad whenever I fall like that. Okay, apotheosis. I have reached Olite. I'm trying to remember why I wanted Olite. We're gonna need it for several things. It's basically, it seems to be like the oil of this game, so I am investing heavily into getting it up and running, but right now, what we need to do is get this onto a high voltage power grid, because right now it has no power, so I've tried connecting it. It's currently connected to our low voltage power grid, not really doing anything. So we're going to need some source of high voltage power. We are going to, where is it? I am still constructing it. That is my steam turbine. Woo, everybody give it up for the steam turbine. Alright, so this thing is huge, and I'm assuming that it's going to need water in order to function. So we do have a source of water right here, so this is a pretty good spot. We may need to do this on a different foundation. I'm not quite sure. I just need to go back to the base because I need more foundation, and actually, I guess I could make some more on me. That would be fine. Yeah, that's totally okay. And I will still have more stuff left over. I'm going to need to make a trip back anyway, but let's get everything that we need when we need it. So, let's put this on its own separate area over here. And we'll go maybe like that, I suppose. This one has the yellow outline despite the fact that it isn't really powered, but still like making sense of some symbols here and there. Even in my infinite wisdom, it looks like this is the biggest item that we've constructed so far. So I'm going to go over here and just poop out more placement of this stuff. Let's go over here. The next thing we're going to unlock too is a mining laser, but we're going to need another type of science before we get there. So, like, we're getting close to some really cool technologies, which is why I don't really want to stop. Although a lot of the stuff that I've gone through right now has just sort of been like input, output. So there is that, but it's all the next technologies that I'm pretty excited about. All right, so this is where steam would be input. Okay, so I guess it needs steam as an input here into our steam engine. Duh. Boiler then is most probably necessary, for which we're going to need to go back. So I guess we'll use the boiler to get the water out. And turn it into steam. Okay, we are now preparing the boiler for, well, boiling. Water is going to enter thus. So now we need to do another one of these pipe configurations. Although I found the pipes to be like pretty easy to work with. As it turns out, the pumps, I believe, are just used for transporting over longer distances. So we didn't really have too much need for that. But we can just put one of these in here. And the one thing I would really love in this would be like more tool belt size. Kind of like how you can kind of expand that out. Although part of me just wishes I had more numbers on my keyboard. You know what I'm saying? It honestly makes me want to take out like a macro pad or something and just key some of them to that. Here we go. I guess I don't drown. Not worried about that for now. We can go there's just so many keys. It's like every key needs to be hotkeyed, man. I am awake. Here we go. We have got this, and this is going up to the steam engine, and we can bring that. I need a minute. Okay, water is building up in the steam engine, and now we can, I guess there's not really too much ambiguity here. How much actually enters? So 800, 900, missing fuel. Oh wow, we need fuel? Now I'm just going to use biomass just to see how this works, although I suppose I may need like farms or other type of burnable fuel. We're going to need to feed that in here. We'll see how long that lasts, but then that brings steam over to the steam engine. No grid connection. That is actually true, as it turns out. There isn't a grid connection. I knew exactly what I was doing, but whoa, jeez. Okay, we can bring this over here. Everything's looking very, like, snappy and green in this. Gotta say. Here we go. If we bring this over to here and then just let me live my life. Oh, no, I ran out of small pole. Alas. Okay, I have another one back. Never mind. False alarm. Everything is okay. Okay. Amazing. The generator is generating. For whom? No one really knows. But the pump jack is pump jacking. great. Okay, so that is creating Olite. We still have to handle that fuel transmission, or like the automation of that, but I wonder if we could just use this stuff to power it. That would be a pretty good way. I bet this stuff is really good for fuel, man. Like, come on. Gotta be. Who knows? Anyway, I have to do something with this, but I'm not sure. Apparently, I've just researched jetpacks. Not backpacks. That would be a really long way to go in civilization. Like, finally, we have backpacks. The crowning achievement of the human race. Let's go for more inventory size, because I could use that right now. Something practical and usable. Okay, after, like, a little bit of work, I've gotten everything happening. Some of these inputs are just, like, a little bit picky. I can't figure out how to change them, but I'm probably just, like, messing it up. So there's... I mean, most of the stuff I've figured out after a little while, but basically what we've got going on right here is water gets made into steam in the boiler. The steam goes through. There's the steam. Let's see. Oh, cool. You actually get, like, a bit of a different texture for each of these pipes for, like, what is going through. Water goes into steam. Steam comes into high voltage power. High voltage power connects here. I really don't know what I'm doing with these transformers, so I just put a bunch of them down. Not really even... I don't think that they're necessarily, but anyway, then that gets brought over with the high voltage grid to our pump jack, which has just run out of power because I'm still temporarily powering this. Let me just throw in some more biomass just for the sake of example. Here we go. There's 100 pump jack pumps, and then that gets put out over here to the dingle hopper. What is that again? This is the distillation column. That distills the raw olamite, which is, I guess, think of it like oil, into like refined olamite, and then also offputs like this kind of waste product, which I think just gets burned. But we are still waiting for some of that. I guess we don't have any of it for a while. Anyway, this thing is just full of liquid polymer, or the refined olamite. So now I need to figure out what I'm going to do with this, and I think I can use it for jetpack fuel, but I'm not really sure how to store liquids, but very cool, though. Let's see, like, what is that? Anyway, so once we get the liquid fuel, or once we have that, technically, I'm not even up to the chemical processing part yet. I've just done everything on olamite processing. That allows you to make circuit or polymer boards and circuit boards. Okay, so now we're going to take all of this and make it into, I guess, like plastic. Cool. And then when does this result in a jetpack? We're getting closer. Jetpack is coming. Jetpack fuel unlocks jetpack. Jetpack fuel. Xenovaride plates and liquid fuel. So am I at the liquid fuel yet? Yeah, technically this is it. So how do we store this? Alright, I'm going to need to find what is like the most fuel efficient way to use this. I have a feeling there's probably going to be some way to just take the refined fuel and then put it directly back into the boiler. Because right now it just feels kind of silly to put like a solid object into the boiler. We might end up need to be doing some sort of like energy cell or... it seems like pretty much anything could work here, so I'm just going to figure that out. But otherwise, though, like, we are making polymer boards. I just need to separate this out, because right now I'm just getting, like, a whole chain ready. Some of these machines are very big and are going to require a lot more factory space. So it's a good thing we have room over here, because I think I might just do it over here instead. Or we could pump it back to the main bus, but... actually, that might not be that bad. It is just a big project, though. I want to see how it all works first and get a sense of all the inputs and outputs, and then maybe I'll go from there. So, yep, that's about it. Okay, we have just created our first recursive machine. Actually, I suppose it's not the first recursive machine, but it is a greenhouse. A greenhouse takes in biomass, then mineral rocks and water, and puts out more biomass. So it doubles the biomass, essentially. Which is, you know, what plants do. It gets output here, and then I was hoping that it would come in here, but it seems, I'm not sure if this is, like, by design, but it doesn't take back its own outputs, at least in this setup. Wait a minute. Do I need to move this slightly? No, like, there is an input spot there. Yeah, I'm just kind of puzzled what's going on here, so I'm trying to figure that out. At the same time, it's just not enough to power this thing. This thing seems to require some better source of fuel. I fueled this one by hand, but I mean, 2 just isn't enough, which is crazy, man. So basically, what we've got right now is this situation where I'm powering this thing by hand, but I just need more efficient fuel, because right now we're creating all of this, but I have to get this into solid form, because I think that this oil, the refined oil, could be used to power this thing. We just need to put it into some sort of solid pack, because right now I don't see any type of, like, yeah, it can't really burn it liquid, so. But this thing will take any fuel, too. Like, if I click in here, that's fine, so. I'm thinking, we just need to find the right fuel source right here, because, yeah, a lot depends on that. I mean, we do have jetpack fuel, we have portable fuel. Just a lot of things I need to try one of. I'm just gonna have a whole experimentation phase right over here. Okay, I have gotten confused. I thought these two were the same thing. I have liquid polymer, liquid fuel, and now I am just overwhelmed. I need to vastly extend my main bus because there's a lot more inputs here than I really accounted for. I thought it was like a simple fluid system, but it is more like just an elaborate and complex one, which is cool. Although I am simply unprepared. It is time to go to Explosion Land. Oh, this is so sweet. Okay, so I have just created an elevator. I thought I needed multiple of them, but apparently it just builds itself, which is a pretty good deal. I've built it 50 levels up, so I guess this thing is just going to keep going up to 50 levels worth. But you can create multiple stations, so you can go above and below ground. That is so cool, man. So I'm going to do this to place explosives all around the woods. I mean, you knew this, how this would end, didn't you? But yeah, we're going to place explosives all around the woods and then go watch from above because I need to take out a lot and, you know, style, man, style. Okay, there is the elevator. This took little to no effort at all, and I really didn't even intend for it to be that high up, so let's just... This should be interesting. Okay, so it is here. We want to go to up. The up station. So then we take this. How quickly does this thing travel? I guess pretty fast as it accelerates. I suppose we'll have to build up there too. Just, it is beginning to become clear to me, like the extent of how much you can scale in this game, which is quite crazy. Am I allowed to? I know that this is like a little bit nerve-wracking to watch probably, but so be it. I can live with that. We need more walkways. Maybe I'll just put it in another elevator up here. Because what really is the point? Look at how high up we are. Can I just put walkways here? Okay, good. I can do this. I would like to create like a little observation platform. That's nice, and it builds railings. This is going to look a lot less impressive than I'd intend it to. Oh, actually, that was not completely bad. I didn't really hear it from up here. I guess we're too high up and far away, but man, would you look at that? That is wild. Okay, like, honestly, the first kind of Bilbo Baggins looking out at the tops of the trees in Mirkwood moment. Very, very beautiful. Holy cow. I gotta say, like, I'm pretty impressed with the scale here. I had a moment where I was like, okay, I've played Satisfactory. I've played Factorio. What do you... I've fallen. Okay, it's okay. I don't take falling damage. But at the same time, that is pretty sweet. And we're only, like, glancing the tip of the iceberg here. That is rather impressive. What else can we do like this? Okay, let's just make one just as tall as possible for a moment. I just want to know how high can go up. How high can go up? Indeed. All right, let's find out. New. Okay, so that's at 134. So we want to enter a height of, let's say, like, we went to 184. Let's say, like, 300. Is that allowed? Is this allowed? All right. Oh, 253. Okay. Well, that's still rather high up, so that's as high as we can go. I'm like a child in a candy store. A candy store. I wonder how low we could go. One would think to, like, 0, but perhaps there is negative indexing. I did fall through the world once. Honestly, it was awesome. It was amazing, and I enjoyed every second of it. I've created, like, some sort of bizarre skyscraper world, but... Okay, I should probably be building vertically more, because I feel like kind of a schmuck that I built the entirety of the factory on the ground, and I could probably scale this thing a lot better if I just gave separate levels to different resources. Think about it, like, hundreds of levels of... Yeah, literally hundreds worth of levels of stuff. Oh man, this is gonna be fun. Okay, for reference, here we are. That's 50 levels above where we are right now, and this one is gonna be 120. It's still growing. I just think that that is a rather menacing picture. Okay, there it is. We are finally at full size. Jesus. Okay, do I have any walkways on me? I can make 11. That's fine. All right, we will do that, and I'm going to need something to look out of up there. I don't think I'm ready for this. Is this allowed? Let's go there. Oh. The fun part is when you actually feel, like, the sensation of being very high up, like you do in real life, you know? I love how that translates into games. And I know that this is a childish thing to do. It is. It is. But I'm going to continue doing it. Have I continued crafting while I'm... Okay, here we go. I thought there was like some sort of elevator thing going on. Nope. It's just who I am. Alright, so we decelerate slightly at the top. Opens in both directions. I just kind of want to see out, man. You know what? No, I have a better idea. Let's just make a narrow walkway. Daredevil. Let's go out like 5, and then I'll go out like another 5 over here. Are they materialized yet? This time is seemingly important to know. Okay, so I can't really see all around in the world around me. I wonder if that has to do with my graphics settings. What are they on at default? Very far. Cannot be changed while in game. Okay, I guess that's where I'm at. I don't think everything is perfectly... But everything is relatively high, I suppose. Wow. It's so beautiful. I feel like such a schmuck for, like, having not enough imagination. Although I guess that's what's supposed to happen in factory games. And honestly, I'm feeling like double schmuck right now because, like, I have been limited by the two-dimensional brain. Because most of the games that I play are 2D, but then to get into something like this, and then just, oh, look at all the little drones down there mining away. Wow, that's amazing. We are really running low on that. Technology research has been good, except that we are unable to scale some of it right at this precise moment. But just, like, look at how much more natural world there is to harvest. And I haven't noticed a single, like, performance issue. Like, this game runs fast, and I'm not even... My computer's from 2019. Granted that it was, like, a supercomputer build back then, so it's probably better than that. But, like, this thing is running really, really well. I'm just kind of amazed that this can exist in a game now. Alright, it's time for the obligatory non-damage jump. How far can I go? Huh! Oh, man. Cool. Very nice. Okay, we have reached a new project because just the amount of factory that we're going to need to complete the next parts of our mission is so great and so astounding that no one can even comprehend what is to come next. That is to say, we need to blow everything up, so I'm going to go through here. I've got, like, 100 explosives, and then we're going to climb to the top of a very tall tower and watch it all reduced to rubble. There's quite a lot to do, and there is quite a lot of land in front of this. I thoroughly underestimated how much room we would need. I suppose we could work in more in, like, 3 dimensions, but I simply don't have the patience for that. I mean, eventually we will, but at the same time, like, you know, don't cry over spilled milk, or I'm not really sure what phrase fits here, but that works for now. Let's go ahead and put these down, and then we will explode this. Okay, it's just about showtime. We're at the top of the elevator. Man, this is so cinematic. Look at all of the craters that are already there. And 3, 2, 1. And I got... Oh, awesome. Very cool. Everything almost died. I think that was like 80 explosives. That is pretty impressive. Okay, haha. I always get like a rush when I do that. All right, so this is just a massive crater, most of this area. That's fine. What the next step will be to do is take all of this and just drill out a bit of this land, because I'm not going to go through with explosives for all of it, obviously, but let's just get a ton of that tile. Ooh, we can have floating dirt. That is interesting. And we will just basically build this out to be one thick wall. That is actually quite a lot that we still have to get through, but, you know, explosives seem to be doing their job, so good enough. Okay, I've cleared out an entire other area. I guess you can't really appreciate it unless if we're on top of one of those things, but here's the old factory. I've just cleared out space so that I can add in a whole new expansion, and honestly, I regret not just putting everything into, like, solid side-by-side columns above everything, or, like, something that makes a little bit more sense, and just making this a bit more obvious. Also, too, we are running out of xenoferrite ore. Like, we are pretty much out, and we do have that one other patch, but that's just not going to be enough. So I need to figure something else out, because, I mean, this is cool, but it is quite ridiculous. Maybe I'll put up some more elevators. I don't really know what to do with my time. I am just getting to that kind of point where I feel like I regret doing this way, and I need to improve. But, you know, like, it's more like real life. So maybe it isn't so bad. Okay, some time has passed. I have done a lot of stuff to the factory, but I kind of needed a moment to think because I was struggling with the fluid management. Trying to remember what I even did. I think I was up to, like, just being confused on what to do with my fluids. I abandoned this over here because I didn't like all the back and forth of this operation. I think I was about here on the factory, and I've now developed out here with a lot more belts. I'm just gonna turn and show, and I now have jetpack fuel, which is incredible. Because I can just do this, and it really doesn't even use up too much jetpack fuel to do this. Just ignore that. That's a radio tower that's going up. I know it looks huge and crazy, but it's not really, like, the greatest thing. Although it does look like it. It is just a huge cylinder. Not even a cylinder. It is a rectangular prism. I think. How is my shape identification here? Oh, God. There we go. But, yeah, this is like a tower with several levels being built. We've gone over here. Same deal. This is the crushing setup. These are the smelting columns. Not much change there. There's not even that much smelting going on because we aren't using up too much of our goods right now. We've got some... Oh, gosh, we're going to run out of Ignium ore sooner or later. But we also have other ways of creating fuel now, I do believe. Let's continue down our route. This is I ran out of xenoferrite ore, so I had to go establish a mine down here. Oh my gosh, this really... I still get the sensation of falling when I do that in these 3D games, but I had to create a huge belt down here, and this is, yes, an elevator. Although I didn't have a jetpack when I constructed this, so that was a pain. But yeah, basically all that for this, but this is a pretty big deposit of this stuff down here. This is starting to look pretty cool, I gotta say. Like, there is a lot to this game, and I think I'm finally coming into a lot of the things that make this game very interesting and very unique and very much its own. Like, look at this, man. This is crazy. And, like, just the sense of scale in this game is so much bigger than I had imagined. And you don't get tripped up by, like, silly things like belt management. Although I do enjoy the 2D belt management. I gotta say, like... I wasn't as crazy about it, but I kind of like 3D belt management. Ever since this, well, I also liked it in Dyson Sphere, but I like being able to be, you know, like right up to it in this as well. Both have positive characteristics, that is to say. This is like a landing area. I'm going to try to import a new material that I've got. I really feel like I've done too much, but I got so much pleasure out of, like, just kind of sitting with it and thinking about it for a while. Anyway, here's what I did with the oil. So all of the... Or what is it anyway? It's olamite? Olamite. Okay, crude olamite. So olamite is basically oil. That kind of thing. We've got that being made into low-density olamite. We've also got liquid polymer coming out and olamite gas. Those are being made into liquid fuel, and then the olamite gas is being made into alumic acid. Those are being used to create stuff like... polymer boards, which are used in circuit boards, as well as this olumic acid is used to create energy cells. And also, this liquid fuel can be used to create jetpack fuel and more portable fuel. I haven't even found a use for the portable fuel yet, but I've just, like, got a belt of it going. Here we go. So I've got water coming over here. Slight distinction here. You have, like, the slightly darker is olamite, and then this lighter one is water. I had a pipe that was filled with water that I thought was... yeah, just, like, very easy to confuse, but it is what it is. Anyway, a couple power poles going. This is a boiler. We've also got the Ignium ore. I do believe, what is it, Ignium? Yeah, Ignium ore over there. That's creating steam from the water, so it's using Ignium ore instead of biomass now, because that was just not that great a fuel source. Maybe there was a way to manage it. I was not figuring it out. I haven't even done any farming for now. It's just, I just don't want to. And then I've got, what is this again? This is the, like, liquid fuel, I think. Yeah, liquid fuel. Liquid fuel gets made into portable fuel and rocket fuel. I might even pick up a little bit of extra, like, this is my rocket fuel, right? This is it, yeah, jetpack fuel, or rocket fuel, jetpack fuel. That I'm, you know, same diff to me, but I don't know, maybe there is more. I will take a little bit more of that. But you can see I used up maybe, I think I had... what, like 5,000 megajoules when I first started this tour. I mean, I'm still floating right now. I don't really use any up unless if I really ascend. So that's kind of the toss up there. But very cool, the rocket, or the jetpack. I do like it. What am I even doing over here? Who am I? What am I doing? Was it when I undid that? I don't even remember, man. Okay, what is this going into again? This is going in to create polymer boards. Okay, so something must have reset on this one. I have to, like, tick a box on this. Okay, so this is going to be used for olamite refining. That gets burned off up here. And then we've got that. What are we? Liquid polymer, low density. Oh, God. I can't even remember anymore. I think this is liquid polymer. Yeah, liquid polymer comes out, makes polymer boards. So, like, plastic solidified, sort of, I suppose. I don't know what I'm talking about, just for reference. But, yeah, that's what it is. Or maybe it isn't. Who knows? Continuing. Then we've got advanced circuit board. What is this? Circuit boards, not advanced circuit boards. Just regular old circuit boards. Nothing to see here. I use those from time to time. And then separately, we're crushing ignium ore into powder. Then we need more olamite gas. We take the olamite gas and we take the ignium powder and we put the olamite gas and the water in to make olumic acid. Olumic acid is then used combined with a lot of other ingredients. These three electronic components, glass and xenoferrite plates, to create energy cells. I don't even know what these are used for yet. Hopefully something good. They look very refined and interesting. Then we take more xenoferrite plates and then we make them into... oh yeah, I set up a separate area over here where I just brought in more resources because I needed so many more belts, because it was just a crazy number of belts. I don't think I'm going to need that many. Maybe, let's say 4 stored. But yeah, we're just needing a crazy number of belts to extend these things, because just appreciate for a second how long these belts... you know, I think I will make that even a little bit bigger. But yeah, just about that. But just look how big these belts are, man. And I haven't got any more efficient transport methods. It's very cool, though. Like, you can look at the whole labyrinth now and just be amazed. Anyway, so what does that all lead to? So we've got all of these new... I don't really like to just go for things, though you can kind of play these games like this, just build the new stuff, not really knowing what it's going to do. But the whole goal for this has been Science Pack 4s. Maiden assemblers. But I think I know what I'm going to need next. Because the last thing that we need for this, for Science Pack 4s, is Olite bars. That last ingredient, we have circuit boards, we have energy cells. There's just 4 of those need in H1. So these can be retrieved from the space station through the requester warehouse once products have been sold. So this opens up a whole new area, which is the next frontier to me, and I'm still trying to figure out. Space station requester, I've done a little bit of reading on this, and I do believe we're going to need the radio tower base. I don't think we're going to need this, but I'm just going to build it anyway. Oh, actually, I'm probably going to have to get into the modular building on this. Anyway, I'm focusing on the radio tower right now. Which, in addition to that, we're going to need, well, I built that space station requester warehouse from before. I may need some more stuff. I'll probably need a whole sales warehouse or something. That actually doesn't look that bad to build. You just need a large space for it, so I'm kind of canvassing about for ideas there. And also, I may need to just clear out these belts and make this airspace empty, so I might just put these belts over to the side. You can, I mean, look at all the vertical ground we've got, so we're not really running out of space. It's just taking more and more to do it. And it is easier to construct once you have the jetpack, too, I gotta say. Like, you can angle things much more easily. It's just a matter of scaling, so the scale in this game really is just incredible. But, anyway, aside from that, science research is kind of halted now until I get that yellow science up, so I think that the next thing I need is to actually build this thing, which is a big ask, but radio towers, I do believe you need construction materials for them, and I do believe we're going to need construction ships to do this, so we need maintenance drones, which can only be assembled, but not created in my inventory, so I have to create, like, a bunch of these things, so I'm going to do this at the end of my route, because that's a lot of advanced parts. I don't know if everything I said is factual or not. I still have to kind of figure out the rest of it, but I think I'm going to do that, and then sleep. Because that's a lot. Yeah, I've got, anyway, I've got some more explosives here. I've got a couple more cliffs to blow up. Okay, 1, 2, and there's no 3. That's it. That's basically just the scuffed way I'm getting through these cliffs now. There's probably a better way to get this done, but oh well, I don't know it. There is quite a lot to be done here. Fortunately, I don't have to go all the way back to the front to get more of these things. I never actually created an assembler for explosives, so I've still just been kind of grabbing things in a very scuffed way off the belt, because I didn't anticipate we would actually get this far out with the factory. Although I think building on one side of the belt, you know, I probably could have built this factory out wider if I wanted to, but just it makes sense in the back of my mind to not have everything going every which way. Like, it could probably go both ways. I probably will once I know the whole extent of the game. I prefer just the first time I go through any type of automation game to build, well, now that well, the first time I played an automation game, or a factory building automation type of genre, like, I didn't know what I was doing. Everything was just spaghetti, and I quit at the end, because I was like, I'm not smart enough. I'm just not good enough. But now I have, like, a little bit more of a method. It isn't really a very good one, but some people will build one of everything for their, like, main idea, and then once they figure out what ratios they need, then they'll, like, do better with it, but it's just what works for me. Anyway, if there are any other, like, logical ideas, let me know of them in the comments. Sometimes someone will just tell me some brilliant idea, and it changes my life. I have the benefit, fortunately, of being a YouTuber and having an audience, and people who are willing to sit with me through my own, like, vast stores of dumb, for some reason. And it's kept up. Like, and if you are still here, but you are, you know, a smart boy and you're watching, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And maybe you found something better that works for you. But I'm just a person. Don't you love that moment in automation games when you've finally got a nice stack, like I'm just gonna say it, like a thick stack of belts that you can just place down and just plop them in one by one down on your, look at this, oh my god, oh yeah, I'm getting the belts onto the factory. It feels good. I have more than I need for lifetimes because I have used science and planning and math. I didn't use any math, to be fair, but it feels as though I did, in order to use the quadratic equation to put x squared plus y squared into the middle of the, oh my gosh, what have we even got here? We've got some, like, plantar fasciitis happening in the factory. We have to figure this out. Oh, that feels bad when things don't just line up. Okay, I just have to pew these in here. Okay, I just wanted to give a quick idea, too, just because I've found that this has been my kind of dominant method for construction here. Generally speaking, I wish I had put all these things on one level, like rather high up, just for some central highway for goods. Yes, there are some goods that, I mean, it was largely the things that I suspected at the beginning. That would have done well in like a main bus type of configuration. Now it's seemingly too late. I could probably go back and just reconstruct something higher up, but I would put a main bus. Actually, you would want to put it kind of low, but at the same time, I would probably have a lot of lanes of each good a little bit higher up. And then you can kind of like pew them in like this. Look, there they go. Like kind of in staggered lanes, but it's a nice lead down. It looks like, I don't know, perfect. Honestly, just perfect in every way. Yeah, it's good. But I'm finding some configurations that work a little bit in these, that just translate for these 3D games. Okay, now we've got a fourth input here. This is a bit of a drag. I guess I could just put it directly in here. Technically, I suppose you could go in with like 6 lanes of goods if you just load them in from this side, because, yeah, why not do that? Even 7 or 8. You could have a crazy number of inputs in these things, man. I guess there are plenty of other ways to do it, but I think I'm going to do that. Time for a quick update. We've got our construction bots coming out. So these are actually going to be, well, I mean, we'll use them for construction itself, but we're going to be using them for selling. This has just been a lot of work, so I've been kind of a busy bee, but I figured, man, look at all the lanes now, all the different individual advanced goods being supplied to our places. But yeah, there is quite a lot of like bombing to do in here, and there is a lot of update to be had. So we have warehouses. We're also getting to work on the radio tower, a construction, what do you even call this again? A construction ship port. I was going to say depot, but I guess these warehouses are more like this. So these things have huge footprints and have been a pain to put together, but yeah, I mean, like, once you have them, that's pretty much it. They're not nothing too special about them here. But we've got construction warehouse. Do I even have that one yet? I just don't even really know what I'm doing, so I'm just like kind of building them all together. So I think that one is actually going to supply the parts with the building materials, but we're not even at that step yet. So we've got the construction ship poured out. Construction warehouse would pick up the materials, and the transport ship, I think that's for selling, but also is multi-purpose, I want to say. And then space station requester warehouse, which has been done, as well as the sales warehouse, which has also been done. So I do think, do I have now... Yeah, okay, so we have got... Oh yeah, I've stored these ones in by hand. I've got 17 construction drones in here right now. Do I have them? I believe this one supplies its own... Oh no, we've already built those drones. Okay, but this one is... Excuse me, just wait 1 second. There's currently no construction site assigned. There sort of is, but at the same time... Wait a minute, have I done this one yet? So if I go over to 9... Okay, so this is under construction, so... I'm still, like, kind of playing around with all the knobs here, but... yeah, we don't have the construction material that we need. So that's going to be, like, one of our next major steps right here. But I just don't have that warehouse. That's going to go, I want to say, like, here, but I have to figure out. I'm going to need either more bombs, or I'm just going to have to build this over this thing. Eventually, when we get in the construction materials, we can put that onto the radio tower. And then these firmer light bars will be imported from what we sell. So just to go over the whole process one more time, because it is confusing. I was confused myself, and I still am, and I probably will be for a while longer. Let me just see, is there anything else I should really... No, I think along with, like, the mining expansion here. Okay, phew, here it goes. Construction depot would like to do some constructing, but it needs some construction materials in a warehouse that doesn't exist yet. That warehouse we still aren't even creating the goods for, so that's really the next step over here. But once we get that, then we can put it into this giant radio tower, which has been blueprinted. The radio tower can then be used to contact the space station, which also requires repairs, and for its sales platform and all of the other upgrades that it'll get. But basically, once we have all of that, then we can start to sell things from the sales warehouse using the transport ships, which will go... This is already getting crazy, isn't it? The transport ships will take the goods from the sales warehouse, pew them up into the sky, and then bring back down firmer light bars, which are basically the money, as I take it. And then those can be used towards scientific research. So what we really need is construction materials and a warehouse, and this whole thing will come together. But there's just so many steps in this process that it's required building like one of everything in order to just understand what is going on. I kind of tripped up at this part, although I think this is more of the cool, like, advanced late game stuff. And once you get it working, like, it does appear to be pretty cool. Did I just say that? I mean, it is. The scalability is interesting, and like some of the later technologies look cool, but at the same time it's just so much stuff to set up, so that is, or has like kind of caused me to just, you know, like go a little off my rocker right here, because it's like, okay, wait, what am I doing? But when you look out, it is pretty impressive, isn't it? Alright, I guess I am, ooh, look at all that. It's kind of cool to just see it overhead, like just go, purely just to go exploring. Whoops, I accidentally just totally put that out. Let's, continue working on this, because for the most part now, everything is pretty well scaled. Like, I can just very easily get thousands of foundation pieces now, which I realized 200 having on, like, the docket was enough. Everything is just so cool from this height. Looking at it down like it's Dyson Sphere, or, I'm trying to think of other games. Like, there's not really many colony managers that manage to do all this in 3D. I would love to take this game and just make it into, like, a colony manager. Isometric type of game. Not really isometric. I guess, like, isometric, but also 3D. I would love this to exist, but at the same time, this is pretty cool. Just look at it from here. Maybe it's just something about this viewpoint that it reminds me of, like, retro games. Just take it all in for a second, man. It's just so sweet. It's like this game doesn't exist yet, but I know that this type of thing will in my lifetime. Like, Timberborn was very close to it, you know what I'm saying? But right here, just... if only I had little worker bot people that I could command. Kind of like in Mindustry. I, personally... My preference is not so much on, like, the engineering type of games where you're just one guy. But I think this game's engine and, like, just all the stuff in it is just so cool that I wish for it to become that type of genre, which I most frequently played. But it is quite cool, you gotta admit, right? Even especially from this angle. Anyway, okay, lots more work to do. I just have a lot of bombing. I don't have any bombs in inventory. I have to go handle that right now. Back in a second. Okay, howdy ho. We're finally starting to get some construction. They're actually being taken away, so there they go. The transport ships are finally working now, which is rather impressive. I've got the second warehouse up, some more being delivered. I will just kind of go over this whole chain. I guess I shouldn't have done this in the middle of the night, but that's just when I happened to finish it. Now, this thing makes a lot of construction resources as we go for each batch. We are probably going to get to the end of our chain right here, but the only real change from a couple seconds ago is this. Just this one new lane of goods, which has been a lot of setup, because construction materials do require a ton of inputs here. They require xenoferrite plates, steel beams, advanced machinery parts, concrete, polymer blend, and electronic components. But that all together, for that huge price in so many of each of those goods, makes 320 construction materials, which is pretty good, so... They just keep on kind of getting pooped out here. How many is it able to actually store at once? I don't know, just based on this. But yeah, like we're at 202, 201. We could really use an even faster belt, but this seems pretty good. I'm getting a lot done right here. Now, I do want to go over to, you can kind of see it happening in the distance, and at night it is cool to watch. The radio tower is being beamed at by these robots, and occasionally you can see some of the deliveries getting pooped out into it. So are we going to see one right now? I'm not sure. Is this... They just kind of like drop them in like a supply crate. I will zoom in on the bots in a second. Okay, there we go. So they just kind of go through all the like scaffolding, and then into the structure, but then all the bots just kind of beam it. Ah, look at that. Kind of cool. I do wish a little bit that it showed some more of the construction progress as it goes, but I think we can just go over to this. Do we actually see the progress? Okay, so we're at 11% right now. I do believe that we can increase the speed of this, though, but we're going to need to get into the radio tower itself. So that is another consideration. Anyway, like, just a tremendous amount of effort to get to this point, but now we have... I do wish these blueprints were a little bit smaller, but it does kind of make the game seem more grand in its scale, and I'm now regretting a little bit not going, like, slightly more vertical. Ooh, I can actually do this. I just want to try this for a second. Watch. Look, I'm just being, like... I may totally destroy the game if I stay on top of this thing. I'm not sure exactly what will happen. Okay, no, I guess this is my max Z level that I can get up to. Oh, and there is the, that's actually the construction thing. Oh, can I actually, like, see it up close? This would be kind of cool. Is it going to drop off the goods right here? I must have missed one. Anyway, cool stuff happening. All my machinery seems to be working, which is good because it was just kind of sitting there for a while and I was a little worried I wasn't doing something right. But, yep, now the goal is to get the radio tower up and then get to its control panel. Okay, it is the morning of... I have lost track of how many days it's been. It has been quite some time, and we finally finished off the radio tower. Now, I don't understand why this thing has a ladder, because I mean, you should have unlocked the jetpack by this point in time. If for some godforsaken reason you haven't done that, then go ahead and do it. But yeah, like, the only issue with this thing is that it, like, look at this, we require so much power, and I have also kind of neglected my high voltage, or high voltage power grid, so we have got, like, solar panels going right now, but I could probably have been a little bit more upfront with my steam power network, because right now the sun's angle is at, what time is it? It's 20, oh no, it's actually, whoops, I misspoke. It is the end of it is twilight, nonetheless, but we are at 189 degrees, so we're going to have to wait a while for morning, so I'm just going to get more stuff done. But, yeah, we are recharging power from 15 degrees to 165 degrees. And we do have one battery, I believe, on this network. Yeah, right over here. But that's clearly not enough for as much as we need. So this is just going to require a lot more materials because these things are kind of advanced resources. But we've had to cable these things. And once we get this, hopefully we will start using this in order to sell some goods and then maybe get those firmer light bars so that we can then do some more research right here. I've got no research going on right now. I have to go take care of that. Okay, it is morning and we are finally starting to recharge some precious battery right here, which is great. The sun's angle is now at 16 degrees, so this is going to keep on charging once we get the sun's angle up to... what is midway between 15 and 165? 75 over. So would that be I want to say 90? 90s. 75 under that. Yeah, that sounds right. Okay, radio tower is still shut down, so we're going to need... can operate on a strained grid, but it needs at least 50% power satisfaction. So I think with what we've got a lot of solar panels now. I've put in a few more to hopefully make something happen, but this is going to work for, like, part of the day. It's just going to be a real slow trickle right here. It's just a challenge to acquire all of these things and find the space for it. So I've got to let this thing charge up a little bit, and then I believe we are on the network. Now we've hooked in the cable to this one. So I believe that this should be working. I've made efforts to separate this from my low voltage. The whole thing is just a giant spaghetti mess, but you don't have to be Italian to enjoy spaghetti. So the next time you see me, this should be up and running. Okay, all of the transport ships are gone. I have taken pains to build this entire network out because just days were passing. Like, it was a pain to actually even just get this thing to charge up at all, and then it goes out at night, so I was just like, alright, let's see if we can get something more robust. I still don't really know what I'm doing here, but I've got new boilers. I've separated out some of the Ignium. You know, I guess I really need to improve the flow of this, is probably the reason for what is happening right now. But also, still too, like, you know, we are getting some power generation. Now, on second thought, I really need to improve that. Anyway, what is happening is enough. I do believe I should probably go rush over here right now so I can get this thing working. So I get like weird flickering right here, so I sometimes have power, sometimes don't. But I can't connect right now, but I've got the hull emergency repairs, and I've got repair solar panels that we can do power for the next part. But the next one is going to be sales platforms so that we can actually start sending stuff out. And then eventually later on, I will do something about this flickering power situation. But we do now have a repair on the spaceship, which was surprisingly easy because that is a huge thing. I don't understand how that logically makes any sense, but whatever, it is what it is. We have scaled amazingly, and we are better off for it, I suppose. Anyway, so now the next mission becomes, once we get that sales platform, finally, what we've been working for this entire time and making all of these goddamn warehouses for, has been to do one sale and get firmer light bars. So hopefully we'll have enough, but yeah. It is quite a lot of work to get there, but we're finally almost at the point where we have enough for the last science. Okay, more of the waiting game. We have managed to, I know this is higher than the last time I checked it, but we have managed to sell some of these drones now. And, they're not in there right now. Did we take them all out? Okay, I apologize for that. I've messed up horribly, but now we have finally sold some firmer light bars. We need to transfer these things out of here, though. So I'm just going to have to set up another belt, because the next part, now that we have 1,000 in that warehouse, is going to be to take them all. Take them all and then bring them even further into our production chain, because it's literally only the last thing that we need here in order to get to... I don't even remember what level of science we're at. Yellow science. Yeah, that would be amazing if we could get there. If I had a trophy. But that is pretty much all that we need, and then once we have that going, we'll be able to make one. Amazing, right? Firmer light bars. They are kind of cool, aren't they? Apparently they can be melted down into something else. Although, we need them only for what they are. We don't need to change them in order to accept them right now. And yet, this progress is so extremely slow. Just like we have one yellow science, just one lone piece of yellow science coming out. Do we even... Oh, wait, is that the very... Yeah, okay, here we go, finally. The very... Oh, no, there we go, another one. Because I've set up so many of these things. Yellow science is happening, and we can finally get to the next tier of research. Which there is some kind of cool stuff here, namely mining laser, as well as I can make a statue of myself, because we're running out of time for recording, and I need to do something to make myself feel better. Although, like, some of the things are kind of cool, like solar panel that can angle itself more toward the sun, better pump jack efficiency, jetpack speed. That would be nice, because it is a lot of back and forth. And then the cool thing is that once you get further, you can... I'm not sure which technology it is, but yeah, getting down to veins of minerals would be really cool. And then also, like, freight elevator, which I thought we would have access to earlier, but apparently we've had to wait, so we have all my opportunities at scuffed round and round belts. But anyway, yeah, like, all I wanted to say is the immense satisfaction of doing something slightly... I know it seems like a small thing, but you know, one small step for man is still just a pretty small step. But yeah, here we go. On to greater things. There are some of the technologies in here that I was really curious about, not just like general efficiency type stuff, but then at the very end, I guess we get like storage tanks. That would be kind of cool just as a spectacle, but I probably won't be able to get to, I mean, I definitely won't be able to get to any of this. Namely, mining force would be interesting to see, but I don't think I have the heart. Like, there's something about automation games that just takes over my life. I can't stop thinking about them until the factory is complete, you know? But yeah, everything, like, more or less running, it's still just kind of at an odd flicker right here because I don't... Like, I've already got all the stuff I need now. I'm focused back on science, so we are still just... Yeah, like this again, but... Whatever, good enough for me. Okay, we are nearing the end here. I've got monument research up. I've just completed laser research. I enjoy the appearance of this. I do wish it went out just a little bit further, because I do think it's cool. Like, I don't hit it from this far away. I still need to get in kind of close, but I guess with more force it will be nice. I guess I just want to kind of melt things and not have to think about it. I guess we'll get there in a minute, though. But it's still, nonetheless, kind of cool. It's nice to be able to jetpack around and do this way, way, way more efficient than before. Honestly, I think the jetpack is, like, the best technology in the game. Very cool. I now kind of wish that I had that in more automation stuff, but that's pretty much all that I came to say. The factory is looking very, very nice and pretty, but now I am getting to be a very tired man. I have sacrificed so much to make it be what it is. I'm trying to remember what even is this thing. Honestly, I don't even remember what this was. A long-range scanner base. I didn't really have much use for that. I guess I could now. What could I do with this thing anyway? Number 9. I do have the construction materials now. I guess I could do this just for fun, like scan module and then... What would it have been if it could have been? Speed module. Okay, that's kind of sweet. Still, 6,000 construction materials. Kind of like a cool... Oh, look, there's me. It would be so nice to play this game with friends. It would be so nice to have some friends, but I've been working, man, on my factory. All right, let's get our just final thing, because I have to put in something to make me feel better about myself for having done all this. Okay, abandon all hope at getting to the very end of the game. I could not beat the game. I'm a massive failure, and yet I'm still happy with myself, and that's okay. I think that is rather zen of me, but who am I to investigate myself? Anyway, what a great way to segue into building an enormous statue of me. Like, is there any purpose to this? I guess just for the spectacle. I'll take it. It's only 1,000 construction materials, and it would make me feel better about myself, so that is the next project. How are we getting to work on this, or do we have some sort of power flickeration going on? I have to just, like, push some buttons and then get back with this, because I have to go take a nap. It is morning, and the statue is complete. I finally know what I look like, because I've so far been... I think there is a button here I could press to, like, see myself. Hang on a second. I could go into the key. Yeah, let's try that at the end, but yeah, here we go, finally. It is kind of epic in the truest sense in the morning with that shining behind it, but yeah, I don't know, I just wanted to do something that made me feel like I capped it all off in a satisfying way, solely to make me feel better about myself. Oh, God. I am... How do I see myself? I now know how to do speech-to-text, creative mode, toggle performance stats mode, emote. Oh, that would have been good to know. I guess I could just... I should really check this over. Anyway, what I can do... Hang on a second. Let's make it like the minus symbol. See if that changes anything. I can't really see. I think if I could swap out into third person. What I did learn, this is kind of a cool one, is Alt-U, developer tool does not represent blah, blah, blah. I'm not sure if I can see myself, but it is kind of nice just for being able to, like, take cool photographs of the game without all the UI kind of getting in the way, so this is nice. Only problem is if you forget how to turn it back on. And there we go. I did remember, fortunately, so I'm not just trapped in the void forever, but I think I'm pretty much going to call it there. I'm just going to do one last zoom out. Like, don't get it twisted, there are other technologies to develop and stuff, but I just feel as though for one first full real go-ahead with this game, this is kind of nice to get to some bookmark without just trying to, like, brute force 100% everything. And I also have these ridiculously long conveyor belts, which I think are funny, and I honestly think is the whole point of making these games, just to make a factory that looks impressive from zoomed out, and like a giant circuit board with a huge spaghetti mess. Just... Actually, we didn't really get... I guess this is kind of spaghetti right here. Who doesn't love Italian? Anyway, I would say that's about enough for one day. I need to go to sleep now, and man, it is really pretty. I almost just want to like watch other people play the game. It's so beautiful, you know. I gotta say, I do enjoy the kind of zoomed out nature of, at least once you get on the jetpack and once you can kind of see a whole overview. I don't really like being in the weeds with stuff, but it was cool for a change. And I don't really play enough first-person games, to be honest with you. Plus, we didn't really even explore any of the biomes, but it's just so pretty from this, like, zoomed out. How much else is there, anyway? We have, like, another, I guess that's another mountain over here. Is this, no, this is like a desert cactus land kind of thing, but some of the, like, topography here is high. I don't know, I'm having trouble composing thoughts now. I guess that's just to say, look how pretty this game is. But yeah, anyway, I do hope that this series gave you, or actually it's not a series at all, it'll just be one big VOD by the end, but I do hope that this VOD gave you some overview of the game. I think, like, in conclusion, the only thing that I would really want to see in this, because it's technically, I believe, hang on a second, let me just go mouse over and make sure that I'm saying this right, because I hate to put it like this when it isn't. Store page. I'm just going over to this. Yeah, I mean, technically the game is in early access. How is the full version planned? Plan to release the full version with more content, distinguishable mechanics, polishing, and more comfort features. We want to expand the tech tree and make the game longer by adding more machines. Customize machine behavior. Yeah, I don't really know for sure. Like, for example, I guess I'll just kind of come back to the 3 games that I do believe that this has a lot of inspiration from, like Factorio, Satisfactory, and Minecraft. And I also do believe that it's like, I want to say it's the Tekkit mod, or I want to say it was Tekkit, like all the factory building stuff in Minecraft, you know, and the other mods therein, perhaps. But I mean, I personally, I really enjoy combat in these types of games, although I can go for like a deep automation experience. I do think that the resources ran out a little bit fast, which is like a cool source of tension. But I do kind of like to defend stuff, so I really wonder what it would look like if there were monsters attacking my base. And I guess that would just be my one wish list. I don't know if it's planned or not. Although, like, this is a really solid engine at its core, and I'll also say that I really appreciate the fact that it still uses a grid, because I like games with grids, and it's hard to find a voxel game that doesn't just get overwhelmed by the low poly aesthetic. And I think that this is striking a pretty nice balance. The only other game that uses voxels in a way that I find, like, satisfying in that way is actually 7 Days to Die, because they do so much smoothing on the voxels. But I don't really mind them right here. I think they look cool. Like, some of these maybe could use, like, the forest biomes over there are very cool with all the scattered terrain and stuff. I think they're very beautiful and stuff. Yeah, I just feel like this game has a lot of potential for whatever else is planned. Very, very solid automation experience in the background, too. And also, like, I think it would be fun to do it in multiplayer with friends, so that entire part of it has been left out. But yeah, I hope that that's a fair review. Keep that in mind. This video is not sponsored, but, like, the main one on the main channel is sponsored. So, yep, like, take that into consideration. Anyway, I do hope you enjoyed. And I hope that I don't die from falling through this tree. And yeah, I don't know. Like, if you are craving another automation experience and you enjoyed stuff like Satisfactory or Mindustry, or I really think Satisfactory is the big one here. Like, if you enjoy going at it with your boy in Satisfactory, because I feel like there's less focus on combat there. I can think of a bunch of my engineer friends I now want to get together to play this game and just kind of sick them on it. Not to mention, I saw Remy's video, and I think his idea was better than mine. And now I want to go do that. Shout out to Remy, YouTuber friend. Anyway, I think that's about it. Love you lots, and until next time, yeah.